Okay.
And now, oh
We're
God, that
live.
sound is so scary. It is live. It's so live that you can't go
Oh.
backwards. I'm here. I am here in the south of Germany, and I'm talking to a man who is white and who is bald and who is a friend of mine who is living in Texas, but he is not a Texan. His name
No,
is
I'm not.
Anthony. He is a what would you say, a subscriber, a follower of mine, a
Let's just go to the cut to the quick, Devin. I'm a fanboy.
fanboy.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Well, maybe, but
That's what I'll get called.
You're a fan man.
A fan man. I'm not a boy. Yeah. I have had
But
sex.
yeah,
I can purchase alcohol legally, and I own my own
okay,
house and
well,
car.
that is kind of amazing.
I know.
So you are an Englishman. I think they figured that out by now.
Yeah, I
And
am.
we have.
I've lived in Texas for 5 years. I'm
Now,
originally from. I'm sorry, go on.
no, which city are you from?
In England, I'm from Bradford, which is in the north of England. It's
Hmm.
shit. Google it if you don't know where Bradford is, because it's not a very
Hmm.
nice place to live anymore. People call it Bradistan.
So
This was
it's really
after I
one of
left.
these Muslim takeover situations.
Oh hell yeah, hell yes,
Is it
it's
like,
terrible.
is it is it up there with some of the worst, takeover situations in the country?
I'm not entirely sure what the demographic is of Bradford right now, but I I'm not going to say that this is true, but I did hear
Hmm.
that Muslims in Bradford are now the majority compared to white people,
Ah,
which
man,
is
I
one of
was
those
doing some
things.
research on Sweden and Malmo, and the same thing in Malmo, where it's over 50% is Muslim or immigrant, which is all Muslim.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like
I'm
Sweden.
planning to do a whole, yeah, I'm planning to do a whole series on Sweden. Sweden is fascinating to
So,
me because I love the place. I mean,
Scandinavia is
it's a
awesome.
really, yeah, but I guess when I was in Stockholm, I wasn't in these neighborhoods, and I traveled north of Stockholm too, and spent some time with a girl in some little village up there, but I wasn't like really noticing that many Muslims there. Maybe I wasn't looking for them, but
What year was this?
a few years back, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah. Um,
Things
in
change
England,
rapidly.
oh hell yeah!
Mhm.
In England, specifically from where I was from, when I was growing up, it just wasn't an issue. It was nobody talked about racism and things like that. Even though in England, of course, in the 50s or after World War II, you had a mass immigration to England for work and things like that after the war. So we had a lot of Caribbean
Is,
people coming over, a lot of
is there like
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
I just have a question. I'm just curious about the like colonial guilt. So like in America, we have just general white
White
guilt
guilt.
for
Yeah,
just
yeah.
slavery and stuff. But
Hmm.
in England, I sense that they feel like they have no leg to stand on when it comes to criticizing anything or anybody because of all their colonial transgressions. Is that true? Like, I mean, because it
No,
seems like every country you've went to, they all came back to you.
no, 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 not at all. I've never thought about that really. That's never been an angle that I've ever approached anything with. And I've not integrated, I have engaged and interacted with many, many Muslims and many, many Indian people for years.
Okay,
I
so then
worked with them.
then tell me this. So, because like, I've spent a lot of time in England, and the relationship between traditional sort of white English folk and Indian who have
Mhm.
come from India to assimilate in England, that seems to be as like it's a good relationship. It doesn't seem to be any friction there at all.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Indian people love everybody except Muslims. So,
Yeah.
and
So
that's their point. I mean, they if you think white people or some white people dislike Muslims, they dislike them more than what you do because their country borders Pakistan. So
right,
they have an outright hate of them. They don't want to work with them. They don't want to interact with them or anything. And
but
I
it's
mean,
funny
I'm just talking
because
from my experience. That's all.
the Indians in America, everybody loves Indians from
You can't
Apu from Simpsons. Yeah, I
look
mean
at
it's just
Bollywood. Bollywood. I mean, how can
right.
you not like Bollywood? What
It's
are
fantastic.
Pakistanis doing? What's coming out of
Well,
Pakistan?
well, well,
Culturally.
yeah, right. There's no Pakistan version of Bollywood. I'm sure there is, huh?
They probably ripped something off. But, I mean,
I
it's
love
just, go ahead.
I love Indian culture. I love those movies, and as freaky as they are, and as like oddly cheesy and traditional, a big Bollywood musical, you have to watch it. It's just so loud and joyous and full of life. But like,
Yeah,
it's amazing to me that you have a billion people that represent this culture and from this one country, who have basically gone to every country in the world, and everybody loves them. Like, it just it's such a stark contrast to what the Muslims are doing.
yeah.
Not all Muslims.
If I went to a convenience store when I first got to Dallas a couple of hours back, and it was the same convenience store I went to 4 weeks ago when I was back in Dallas, and it's run by, I thought, Indians because they looked Indian to me. Well, actually, this guy's from Nepal, right? And they
Right.
are so friendly. And as far as
Hmm.
salespeople goes, they're awesome. They're looking at selling you more stuff every time you go in the store, but in such a nice, friendly way. Now, I'm interested to know, Devin, this is something I was thinking about. What has your personal interaction been with Muslims?
Ah,
Have you actually had any? Because I know you're from LA, and I know you've lived in different countries,
yeah,
but not countries that are predominantly anything you would call Muslim at all.
yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, basically in Los Angeles, you're dealing with zero Muslims. You got Christians, you got Jews, but it's just I cannot remember the first time I encountered a Muslim. I think it might have been coming to Germany for the first time. So when I got to Germany, I showed up in this town, and I started eating food, and I was looking for like just food that smelled good, and it was these dunas, and it's like this basically a kebab sandwich, and I thought it was German food. I was like, oh, okay, this is just traditional German cuisine,
Right.
and it took me a long time, like pathetically long time, to realize that these people are not like traditional German people. These are Middle Eastern people who are living in Germany. So then,
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously, like 4 weeks it took me to realize that this was Turkish food. So then I realized, oh yeah, there are different people here, and like, oh, there's a whole dynamic that I am clueless about. And so
But that,
that's my first discovery. Mhm.
but you only realized that when you got to Germany.
Yeah, I've never been to Muslim places. My parents have. My parents have gone to Egypt and places and done that whole thing. But
Egypt.
I hear about it. Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
did that.
yeah.
I saw the Carl Pilkington trip to Egypt, and that sort of turned
Yeah.
me off to the whole experience. He he didn't have the best time. When you take a reality TV crew to a location, it's not quite the same as the
It's not going
tourism
to be, no,
commercial.
no. There's not going to be any bombings going on or anything like that. um,
Yeah,
uh,
but no, since then, spending years of my life in Germany, I'm confronted and I interact with Muslims daily. Like I get most of my food from Muslims. I love these dunas. I fell
oh
in
my
love with them.
God. I love that
Um,
stuff too.
a couple years ago, I played basketball with these little Muslim kids up in Berlin, and very sweet, very nice people. But the one thing I will notice about them, there was like this 5-year-old I was playing basketball with, and at one point his mother came out with a few of his older sisters, and they were like, "Okay, we got to wrap it up. You got to come inside." And he spoke to his mother in a tone of voice that I'd never heard before. I was like he basically had more power in that family than all of his older sisters and his mother. He was like, "I'm a man. I'm a 5-year-old man, and you will appreciate me and talk to me as the man of the house."
Wow.
Like that was a bit shocking to me.
Yeah, I mean, living in Bradford, growing up with these people, and really it was only from when I'd say I was about 10 to 12 years old. Obviously at
Mhm.
school and stuff, and you were realizing I didn't really get it that bad, but now you realize that if you're in a class in school, you could potentially be a minority, basically, in the class as far as color is concerned, which in itself isn't a problem. Okay, that's not a problem in itself. But what you find
Mhm.
is that the families of these kids don't. They will entirely disagree with how the school is run, and they will be very vocal and loud about it, and they will want things changing to how they want things done. They will want their female Islamic only schools. which are in Bradford all over. Islamic schools in general. So if you're not a Muslim, you're not allowed to go to these schools, and it's allowed in England.
Yeah, I mean, these are deal breakers. But the problem is that these are your country and my country. Well, actually, I'm a British citizen now, so our country.
I'm dual citizenship too, dude. Hey.
Oh, beautiful. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. So the problem is these are democracies. So if you have a shit immigration policy or one that allows members of a death cult to come in, then their vote is just as much as yours. And guess what? Someday they're just going to say, we're going to vote women's rights out of existence. How about that? That's your system. That's a system you set up, and it's now coming to backfire on you.
Yeah. And what I've seen in England, being more objective, because I'm not there and I haven't been there for 5 years, I've only seen, from what I can see, is things have gotten worse as far as the indigenous population basically just lying down and taking whatever these other people are saying. And it's not just Muslims. And we've got a very large Polish community, which they just get on and do shit. They just go and they'll build your house for you and shit like that. They're workers.
So they're like what the Irish were in early America. Or the Italians.
Kind of. But I mean, I've worked with Poles, and they're lovely people. Not a problem. They get on with it. Yeah, they want to integrate. There's some beautiful looking Polish women, I'll tell you that much.
Well, there you go. I just went to Berlin to see my favorite Polish female fighter fight in the UFC.
Yes,
Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Yeah, I mean, she was, and she's hardworking. Jesus Christ. Well, that's probably not right, but she trains in like, okay, she trains in like the snow with like Polish guys, and Polish guys don't fuck around. They're basically Russians. I mean, when you're in the middle of Russia and Germany, those are some hard people.
We're talking Rocky IV, right? We're talking Rocky IV.
Yeah,
montage.
Rocky IV stuff. I mean,
yeah.
Like
when he's got that log on his back, snow and all that shit. Yeah. It makes people hard.
Yeah.
And hardy.
You know what's ironic though? Stallone must have been on steroids for that whole shoot, right?
Oh God, yeah.
You had to have been.
Without a doubt. He looked pretty good.
Yeah. So isn't that funny? Like, ironically, the Russian fighter Drago is supposed to be on steroids. But meanwhile, it was Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. When what was the actor called that played him? Ivan Drago. Dolph Lundgren, right? Me and a buddy of mine back in when it was like 1985, 1986. I was 15, 16, 17. Just after that movie came out, Dolph Lundgren released a fitness video. Right, and it was all stomach crunches and shit like that. Oh my God, me and my buddy did that. We got so ripped. It was ridiculous, dude. What
scares me? A 1985 workout video with Dolph Lundgren. I'm trying to imagine how short his shorts were. There must have been those are some Daisy Dukes on Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, I do love. I did actually a music video to a Skrillex song, and I chopped up the fight from Rocky IV with Drago and Sylvester Stallone, where it was basically, I just took the footage of Drago ruining Rocky. It was basically just one-sided.
That first fight that they did.
Yeah.
I love that
stuff. But
wow, was that on your Tracy remix or? Yeah,
Tracy remix, but a lot of my stuff gets blocked. Actually, some of the stuff gets copyrighted for bullshit reasons.
Yeah, same.
But
yeah.
So then in England nowadays, you're saying are there any Bangladeshi there?
Yeah, no, there are. You've got Bangladeshis and Pakistanis, basically, that form the majority of. I wouldn't say the majority, but if you go to Bradford, and I'm sure you're never gonna. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. We've been joined by a dark figure.
Hello.
What?
A silhouette. Hello, Luke.
Hello, Luke.
Hello.
Finally, dude. Finally.
How are you?
How is everyone?
We're doing good. We're just discussing Rocky IV, and we're discussing Bangladesh people in England.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys. Did you guys hear about the blogger in Bangladesh, the fourth one?
I tweeted that out. Yeah, I've seen the pictures of his apartment, and it's just awful.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, they came in. Was he alone? Is he a single guy, or what happened there?
No, his wife and stuff. They took his family to a different room in the apartment, and then went and chopped him up to death, as you do.
with machete, which the machete makes it somehow more
Brutal.
visceral
Yes,
than
more interactive.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think the Young Turks are going to say about this?
Crickets.
Rinse and repeat?
They won't say it will be as if it never happened. They're too busy talking about hair racism.
From them.
What's that?
I'm not sure you'll get a big coverage from them on it.
Yeah, because
I love your Birmingham accent.
Yeah, I just I'm uploading a video right now. I did a little review over the terror attacks of August, and it's all Muslim, and they're on a streak right now. So I don't want to jinx it, but it's pretty shocking. And this is one of them. This is one of those things. But I don't feel the need to go and check the details out. But I guess you guys read the article about it, like.
Yes, yeah, from many different angles as well.
And the one thing I know
it's
about
horrifying.
But Dhaka is one of the worst cities on the planet. So,
that's saying something.
I mean, Bangladesh is basically all of the poverty and dysfunction of India plus Islam. I mean, imagine that. I mean, it's a place to not go. It's not on my bucket list.
The main thing with me is that if you, I'm sorry, Luke, you go say, this is Luke. He's another flying monkey.
Yeah, Luke is.
I think that's a racial slur.
Shush.
Yeah.
Go on, Luke. Introduce
Luke,
yourself.
Did you shave your head?
Me, my head's usually shaved. Yeah.
Oh, you were wearing a hat when we met. I guess did you have it shaved then? Okay.
I was wearing this hat.
There it is. So Luke and I we went out for drinks in London a couple weeks back, and I put my life on the line for multiple reasons. Just setting a drinking engagement with a stranger from the internet for starters, and then on top of that, obviously the guy is a black criminal. So
well, you're still alive, aren't you?
Barely.
Barely.
There was an exchange of money before he let me out of his car.
Well, I had 3 jihadists in the back of my car. And there were some negotiations that took place before the release.
But do you guys ever freak out about that? Like, do you know how uneventful it would be if one of us were killed? Like, it would be a story, and it would be instantly forgotten about 5 minutes later. Like, nobody would care.
Nobody would care.
Well,
no, they would with Luke. Luke's black, so if he gets killed by a white guy, then it will make the Young Turks.
Well, in London?
Well, I'm in the UK though, so we don't have the race baiting that they do stateside. It's
well,
not,
you know what it is,
Luke?
I think
the same fever pitch.
You know what it is? You guys have a screwed up situation because you have different races than just black and white. You have the Pakistanis to like deal with. See, because in America, it's funny. The Mexicans rarely get talked about when you talk racism in America, and
because they don't cause any problems. But there is a lot of racism. You're absolutely right, Devin. No, you're right. There is a lot of racism there, but it's like soft racism. People get called wetbacks. You know what I mean? That's like the de rigueur insult to throw a Mexican person as you call them a wetback. That's the Texas thing, anyway.
But you don't hear a Brown Lives Matter campaign. I've never heard of that.
No, yellow.
Yeah,
very white lives
No.
matter. Like.
It's funny. It's funny though because it's interesting. If you just went by a color spectrum, like it's okay to say white people. It's kind of okay to say black people. Not really. Brown people. That's kind of a slur. Like you're not going to get away with saying brown people.
No,
and yellow people. Yellow people's definitely a slur, and you're not going to hear Native Americans saying "Red Lives Matter." You're definitely not going to.
My wife's 1/8 Cherokee Indian.
Oh,
so she tells me. So she tells me.
You're not trying to get into college right now. You're among friends. You could be honest.
You have mixed race children then.
Oh, we've been invaded by a Chilean.
Hi, Lelo.
Hello.
Hi.
Lalo?
How's it going?
Lalo?
Lalo.
How's it going?
Lalo. I will.
So this
I will introduce Lalo.
Yeah, please do.
Lalo is online. He has a Twitter account called Chile's Atheist. He's with Devon, basically on attacking Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. He's very, very active on Twitter, and he produces some... Now, this might sound a little bit weird, but you can be a really shit tweeter, or you can be a very good tweeter and make those tweets count. This is what this guy does. Is that about right, Lalo?
Yeah,
Lalo?
He's got
I
an army
appreciate
of
that.
guys.
That's a nice thing to say. I wasn't always good at Twitter. I had it for a really long time and never did anything with it, and I don't think I was good at it. But
you are now.
I've gotten a lot of good responses. I got a lot of regular retweets from people, and people usually I get a lot of good feedback from everyone. So and me and Devin, I don't like really saying I don't know if we attack, but we definitely call out Cenk on shit.
You expose him. Yep.
It's called curb stomping.
With a virtual curb.
You guys were talking about the new Bangladeshi blogger who was killed, and if the Young Turks will cover that. Before this latest one, it wasn't that long ago. I think it was a month ago. I checked every name of every blogger that has been killed, and I put Bangladesh, put Bangladeshi blogger. They have not covered one of the bloggers who have been hacked, and I forget how many there have been. There's like 5 maybe.
I can imagine that. I think even if they did cover it, the coverage would look something like this. It would be about 30 seconds explaining what happened, and then the rest of the video deflecting false equations, all defense. It's like they should bring in cheerleaders and just start.
He would talk about the blogger for 30 seconds and then go Dylan Roof. He'd make a comparison to the Muslims, then probably mention the Iraq War and blah, 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 and quote something from Reza Osman and be done with it.
Oh, of course. Now let me ask you a question. You're in a Google Hangout with 3 men with shaved heads. When are you going to join the club?
He looks like he's hanging on to his last little bit of hair there, Devin.
No, I do. Yeah. I do shave my head. I just been lazy. That's why I'm with the beard and. I don't keep this. I really don't keep this.
You're not planning on doing a suicide bombing, are you?
This is not like I've been shaving hair. This usually is gone.
You know what's sad? I would die to have that much hair.
What?
I would love to have that.
You are kidding me, dude. You've got to be kidding me.
No. See,
how bald are you, by the way? How bald are you?
Okay, let me explain. I'll explain the degree of balditude. So
you
basically,
have eyebrows.
Yeah, I got eyebrows. I'm rocking those. But I was 18 years of age when I lost my hair. So
wow.
I was at University of Berkeley, and I was sitting there. Everybody else is like partying and shit. And I'm like, I am dying of leprosy right now. I was freaking out. And so it's a very rare group to be in, the losing your hair as a teenager. So I think I might have to write an ebook about it to help other guys out because it could be devastating.
Traumatizing.
I started losing mine about 21. But to be honest with you, I just thought... but I just thought, if this shit doesn't want to stay on my head, I'm getting rid of all of it. I'm not going to look like Lalo.
Yeah, but
I'm joking.
I'm joking.
I'm joking.
Yeah, but
there's a Bill Bailey, British comedian. Mm-hmm. He's bald with long hair at the sides and the back.
I know him.
Fancy that?
That's eye-catching.
Google him.
The problem is this: there's a state of denial that goes on where you fight it for a long time, and I was in a hat-wearing phase.
Is that a state of denial or a state of Daniel?
Oh, I hate that guy. Don't even bring him up. He actually made a video just recently supporting Donald Trump for president. That's all you need to know about that guy. And this is on the tail end of him doing Sarah Palin videos on her. So that's where that guy's mind is at. So here's the thing. Okay, so with losing your hair, the thing is, there's a point of no return where you say, fuck it, I'm shaving it off. It's like when you're going into a cold lake and you're tiptoeing into the lake and you're like, oh my god, it's freezing, it's freezing, it's freezing. And then finally you get to your balls, and once you pass the genitals, then it's like, okay, fuck it, I'm just jumping in. So clearly we're somewhere in between the ball. Like for Layla, we're in around the thigh right now. He's
Yeah.
ID.
You know something? I think I consider myself lucky in the sense that I look okay with a bald head. Not everybody does. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, true.
Some people shave their head and they have a weird head. You know, or they
Well, it's
just
like
look,
Oh
gold.
yeah,
it
yeah.
just
Or they
looks-
got weird
So-
dimples on the head, or they got a big fat neck and shit like that. I see those people all the time. Some people cannot rock a bald head. I can.
No, some people just
Luke
don't-
can. Devin can. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you could too.
Yeah.
I think so.
It just occurred to me, why are there no bald Muslims?
There are.
There are.
Yeah,
There's
there
a
are.
guy,
Shave it?
he's in an organisation called Cage over here. I
Yep.
forget his name. It's something Qureshi or Qureshi something.
Is it Adam?
Muslim.
Is it Adam Qureshi?
No, no.
He has an English first name. No, I'm serious. Is it Adam? There's a guy called Adam Qureshi that's...
He's an English British Muslim, yeah. Sam Harris
David
sent
Qureshi?
a link about him actually. 'Cause, he was on a political program, and he kind of unveiled like that he supports terrorism and he's sympathetic to jihad and stuff like that.
Who wouldn't be?
Now, speaking of Sam Harris,
Yes.
a couple of you guys just had a Twitter interaction with Sam Harris. Can you explain?
I did. I think that was
Yeah,
me.
what happened?
I was arguing with this guy. Some random guy was... Sam had tweeted something. Fuck, I can't really remember. But anyway, me and this nobody were interacting, but it had Sam's Twitter tag on it. So we were just interacting and just saying, look, Sam doesn't say anything without a measure of intelligence and forethought type thing. And suddenly Sam jumps into the
I want
conversation.
to see Sam Harris get pissed. Someday, I really do.
I'm sorry, Lelo, say again. Hello, Tyler.
Tyler's in the house.
Hello.
Ty. Hey,
So,
thanks for
yeah,
making that video, by the way.
Yeah, I'm inviting all your best friends, Devin.
My God, this is 2 black people now. Holy f!
Let's get on. We need Drew in here. Just to even things out, we need a white Texan metalhead with long hair.
Yeah. You gotta wonder. I wonder what Sam Harris does, to check in on Twitter. Do you think he? I mean, imagine how many tweets that guy has, or notifications he has.
Exactly.
Does
yeah.
he bother at all?
Yeah. Let's go to the Twitter thing, Devin.
Okay, yeah.
I think
what's up?
that's where the conversation's going. Well, you brought it up. I don't know.
But you were
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean-
talking about-
I just feel bad. I feel bad for Sam. Like, he clearly is not talking about Islam anymore, and you can understand why. I mean, the guy is like some sort of martyr for stating the facts about Islam.
So I think your point is, why does he waste his time with this shit? Or why is his time being wasted with this shit?
I
Is
think
that a fair thing to say?
I think he's moved on, but I think he must be horrified by the backlash he's received personally. I feel bad for him. That's all.
I think I'm sure he can take it with a measure of intelligence. I'm sure he does. But fuck, I mean, the type of people that he has to, or sometimes engages with on Twitter, that just say the most outrageous, ridiculous things about him, and he has to come back and and he feels like he has to correct it. And I mean, all for the man, he'll engage with you. Just like, I mean, and just before we go into this Twitter thing, this is why I like Twitter, because you can engage with anybody that has an...
Yeah. Yeah, you cut through it all. We got to drop.
Oh, I think,
And-
Well, I'd like to,
Please go. Okay.
like with Sam Harris, though, I'm sure I've also thought about how he must feel when he gets attacked, but I doubt he really cares about some Muslim going off on him saying you're a racist or Islamophobe. I doubt he really cares too much about that. I think he cares a lot more about the people I've seen, who are probably in the United States or in Europe, who are very liberal, who are not Muslim, and who listen to people like Reza Aslan, and will post his videos of talking on CNN about Sam Harris. And I'm sure when he interacts with those people, I'm sure somebody's called him racist, aside from Ben Affleck. I'm sure that's more disheartening for him. People who probably on almost every level, on every social issue, and they call you a racist.
Mhm.
That must feel
Yeah,
wrong.
it does not make any much sense to me that they use the word racist to describe people who criticize Islam at all. It's like it kind of makes the word almost meaningless.
Tyler, I've heard of black people. You are literally a black screen right now. I see nothing on that. Is that your video?
I just the other day about Tyler's videos. They're really good. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Videos are excellent.
Tyler, what was the feedback you got from doing that video in support of me? What was your general reaction?
My reaction hasn't really been bad, actually. I have been getting a lot of good responses.
And did you get a bunch of new subscribers?
Oh, yeah. It's like, as soon as
Cool.
I woke up, I saw, like, so many different subscribers immediately. Like, boom, 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 boom on my message.
So surely you got
Nice.
the Uncle Tom thing.
Well, I've
You
been
got
called...
that.
Well, I actually been called like an Uncle Tom and also like other different crazy names by black supremacists.
Wait, what is the name that they would call white people that's the equivalent of Uncle Tom? Like if I was,
Probably like a cracker or something.
but Uncle Tom implies that you are sort of a traitor to your own race.
I don't
That
believe
you're-
there is an equivalent, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think there is. How could I?
Dynamic, different for white people, in terms of the people that say stuff like Uncle
Yeah.
Tom.
I think it's interesting when you actually break down words. Like, I'm fascinated that the term white trash exists, but nobody ever says black trash. That's very.
I think you just coined the phrase, Devin.
Holy shit, you're a racist for saying that.
But you know what's funny though? It's like you think that we're above these little words, but when people fling out a label, they're so satisfied that they've accomplished something. Like, you're a racist. Boom. Conversation over. Fuck off. You know, it's like you really haven't said anything. There's nothing there. There's no meat on that. And dude, I was just on Twitter. Go
I
ahead.
recently tweeted that in today's world, that the person who's called racist is probably the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, it's
I
really
mean, that's what
it's
happened
kind
with
of
Ed Harris. That's what he was the smartest guy in the room,
Yeah.
talking logical stuff, and in 3 seconds he gets called a racist for no reason.
If you think Sam Harris is a racist, like, please just announce it, like on your Facebook or something, because I want to know who those people are. You know, you couldn't be more wrong if you tried. I just got into a Twitter conversation with some guy, some drunken peasants fan, and he was calling me a racist and stuff. And he's like, "Why don't you go on the show?" And the more and more I tweeted back and forth with him, the less I knew that this guy was younger and younger. Like, this guy must have been 10 years old. And like, I just felt so stupid for having spent 15 minutes talking to a 10-year-old and, you know,
Wow.
defending my non-racism to a 10-year-old.
Can I give my opinion of why you're called racist? Because
Sure.
I understand why people call you racist. It makes sense to me because you're basically too objective, and that's not really good for today's politically correct liberal world. We've gotten to the point, and I'd love to know if Taylor and Luke here agree with me, but there's such a babying I've noticed in the United States and some parts of Europe of minorities where it's you don't want to just say, you know, black people are not less, or minorities or people of color, as they like to say, they're not less than other people. No, you cannot say anything negative ever. You can't generalize the group as doing something worse. So, as an example, I used to be a teacher in Asia. I used to teach English in Korea and in Japan. And these have the highest levels of education in the whole world. And I'm from Chile, and Chile, South America obviously isn't, you know, the epitome of good education. So if I said Latinos are much less educated than people in Asia, you know, somebody say, "Oh, you're being racist for stating a fact." No,
No, but they'll say, it's like, give the reasons why.
Right, like, it's
Right.
one thing that,
Give
it's
the
like,
reasons.
for me, like, in my opinion, it's like, it's one thing to say, well, because they're Asians, therefore they're smart, or, well, because they're black, therefore they commit crimes. But what Devin said to me was basically, well, according to this data that's been collected, blacks are making that much crimes. It's not because they're black, but because they're actually doing it.
Yeah, I mean, Latinos are not stupider because they're Latino. They're not stupid either. They're less educated because there's a cultural bubble that doesn't focus on education. I understand the reasons why Asians are more educated. I understand. I studied Confucianism and the importance they give to education and to teachers and the hierarchy and everything. And Latino culture doesn't have that. They have every potential to be that. You know,
this is the reason why I invited you, Lelo, because you know what you're talking about.
Oh, thank you. But when you say, you know, black people in America commit more crimes. People are not just going to associate that you're saying that black people commit the crimes because they're black, but they don't like that you're even pointing out the facts. You know, pointing out the facts is an act of racism. You know,
look, if you're a white person, if you're white and you are discussing race, this is a warning sign. This is like fire the alarm bell. I mean, unless you're of the right color, you are not allowed to talk about race.
no joke. Like, just because I'm black, I didn't get that many bad responses at all.
Right. But unless you're about to go on a diatribe of self-flagellation, where you just are, oh, the poor black people, they're like abused. They're abused pit bulls. They can't take care of themselves. They're like mentally deficient children. Aren't we the evil people for having subjugated them for so long? Unless it's that kind of a spiel, you are going to be the problem. Not the message, not the topic. You.
At that point, Devin. I think we should bring it to Twitter.
I really don't want white people telling me that Latinos are less educated. That's contradicting the facts, and two, that's not helping me. Latinos are less educated. We need to recognize that fact first, and then we can move from there. Then we can start fixing. If you don't recognize that fact, then you're not help to me. You know, you say, oh no, but Latinos are also educated. How could you say that? No, we're less educated. That's a big deal to me. I really care about that, and I want them to be more educated. But white guilt, denying things like that black people are in a situation where they commit more crime, and they do commit more crime. You have to recognize that fact. And you know, Latinos, one aspect is that they're less educated. There's 1,000 more things wrong with the culture, but you have to start from the facts. You know,
but here's the thing.
And the thing about it is, like, with the Black Lives Movement, like, basically it was formed to combat police brutality against black people, but then gradually over time it seemed like it's all about white bashing. And if black lives really truly in fact matter, how come they're not looking at the stats where it says that black on black crime happens more than white on black crime? It does not make any sense to me.
That doesn't
They're
even
far
matter.
less visible when it comes to black on black crime. You don't get the mass protests and the mass movements protesting like this 7-year-old girl that got shot in Chicago the other day as part of a group of killings. It's not really going to get the airtime and the attention from those type of campaigners, because it's not.
Yeah.
It's a whole victim mentality where it's the white man doing something to us. That's how they view it.
Right, like any kind of situation with like like in every kind of situation where it's a white person doing something to a black person, the assumption is always, well, because the cop was white and the guy was black, therefore it's automatically racist. But people don't seem to look at it objectively, like what's the situation happening at that particular moment. It's kind of like with the Everett Gardner case, where people thought, well, because the cop was white and killed that guy, therefore he's a racist, when in fact we don't really even know his motivation for actually getting Everett Gardner.
At that point, I would say watch Vernaculus, if you want any kind of rational, logical look at things.
Right.
Have you seen that guy? You knew who that guy is, Devin, right?
Yeah, that guy's great. He's like a wonder.
Have you seen how young he is? Have you seen how young?
Yeah, he's like
he's like 20 or
intelligent embryo. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He wears glasses. So just imagine Rodney King, the beating of Rodney King. Imagine if those cops had been black. There would be no LA riots. Literally, there would be no movement.
That's
it would have
true.
been like, well, it would have been like he was on a high-speed chase and he was on PCP and he did resist arrest. I mean, what the fuck?
Well,
like, no movement whatsoever.
Black Lives Matter.
This is the ultimate racism. It's judging by different and lower standards.
Well, yeah,
And
look,
people
the
don't
Black
even
Lives
realise
Matter,
they're doing it.
Black Lives Matter should be actually a longer hashtag, because it's not really all black people. We're not talking about, you know, people who are getting killed by Al-Shabaab in Africa. You know, so it's not all black people in the whole world. It's African Americans. And on top of that, as Luke was saying, it's not a hashtag that's being used when it's a black person being killed by another black person. So it's technically African Americans being killed by white people, lives matter, or something like that.
Right. It's like kind of strange, just because like there's actually more whites getting killed by cops than blacks.
Well, there's a major divide in the black community in America between black Americans and like actual Africans. Like, there's a very small segment who are like pro-Africa and they'll wear the necklace and they're totally into that. But the rest of them are like, I don't know a fucking thing about Africa, and I have nothing to do with those Africans. Like,
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't even want to go back to Africa. I mean, God forbid, there's like some diseases there and crap like that.
It's not like Africa is some shining city on the hill. It's not like it's a proud thing to be like, oh yeah, I come from Africa. You will hear guys like Bob Marley be like, oh, we used to be kings, and he's praising this Ethiopian guy, Selassie or whatever. This guy. Yeah, I mean, so this is a sort of fantasy world that they're concocting, but you're never going to be like, yeah, let's all go to Liberia. It's like, no, let's not.
Well, you get this narrative from the pro-black movement where they make out as though everything in civilization was kind of stolen from black ancient civilizations. I don't know if
the loincloth.
Yeah.
And also, they seem to claim that every last white person out there is a racist.
Yeah. You've had some interaction with that girl. Is it Sensei?
Yeah, Sensei Asimatsu. Like, the reason why I removed the videos is because she's threatened me with a false DMCA.
Yeah, you're not the first person to get involved with her, though, Tyler.
Oh, yeah, I know,
You realize that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, she's
know.
an absolute fucking racist.
Yeah.
Are you talking about a girl? I thought that was a guy.
No, it's a girl. don't let the nose piercing fool you.
That's a girl?
That is a girl.
Are you serious?
Female.
Yeah, that is a
female,
girl.
Evan. It's a female, technically.
Isn't she a lesbian?
I don't even know. Like, she didn't say like her sexual orientation, but basically she kind of gave me like a warning that she would give me a false DMCA if I still have those videos of her up on my channel.
Fuck that bitch.
Oh, please.
Yeah, she's.
Well, I mean, that's
what
I think people, they don't want a conversation. They don't want to be analyzed. They don't want criticism. They don't want to engage. They just want to accuse people of racism. And if you question them at all, you're a racist too. End of conversation.
You know what I love the Sandra Bland case. I love the petering out of the Sandra Bland case because it was right when they released the footage of the actual prison cell, and it was like black people, black women, and like Latino men who were like operating the prison. It was like, oh well, fuck, this isn't not what we were talking about. Like, there's no white people here who can be accused of murder without a shred of evidence. Not this black guy. Come on, what's the story there? So now you will not hear about Sandra. That is going to die out.
She's gone, dude. She's gone. She's done. She's not a news story anymore. She is not a news story anymore.
Guys, remember the video of the woman walking around New York, and she would get catcalled?
From black guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and so every the video's intention was to show misogyny and catcalling, right? But then everybody kind of noticed, wait a minute, all the guys catcalling are like 90% black and Latino, which wasn't a surprise to me as a Latino. But obviously, in New York, I'm sure half the guys there who catcall are Puerto Ricans. Like, obviously, what the hell? It's like, yes, Latino men, yell at hot women in the street. Well, that's not a.
Did you see the video? Go ahead.
Oh no, this video is actually racist for editing out the white men. And actually, it was mostly black men and Latino men, and people said you edited out the white men. But notice that nobody said you edited out the Asian men.
Yeah.
Obviously, and I'm sure much less white guys were catcalling.
And again, that goes back to my point, Lalo, as to why I invited you in the first place.
Well, did you guys see the video of the Jewish guy walking around Paris? Same kind of setup, and just the Muslims just berating him.
I've not
It
seen
was
that
pretty
one.
telling.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, France is not a happy place for Jews right now.
Or anybody. Have you seen Calais? I went to Calais, which is on the north border of France. It's the closest place you can get to England before crossing the English Channel. I went to Calais when I was, I think, 14. We went on a school trip, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful little town. We went and what did we do? I went and got drunk at 14. Wow. Yeah, that's what I did in Calais. So, but I bought some brie, and it was just a really nice experience. And we got back on the coach and went home. There's no way that schools in England are now going to be running trips to Calais, ever.
It's in the news at the moment. Calais crisis, they're dubbing it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
There's a lot of
Speaking of
negotiation going on.
speaking of news events in Britain, what do you guys think about Anjem Chowdhury going to jail?
Yay! Yes.
Is
Yeah.
this
Do you think they
definitely?
have
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, he's in jail.
he's-
I don't personally care if he. Well, no, actually, I do care if he gets convicted. I would hope he does, but I don't. I just want him in jail and away. Him and his little buddy.
I'm a kind of free speech absolutist, so I'm never too happy when I hear somebody getting arrested for what they said, even if it's Ajahn Chowdhury. But it would depend on what he said. I'm not really familiar on what.
It's not.
Got him arrested.
Lalo, it's nothing he's said recently. This is things that have been going on for 5 years.
Right.
He's like that. Do you remember that guy with the hook hand? Do you know what I'm talking about? Exactly, Adam Hamza or whatever. Yeah, we got rid of that little
I know
shit
who you're
fuck.
talking about.
Yeah, well, he's in the same vein, other than he has both hands. All right, the other guy had a hook, which made him even better as a villain. He had a false eye and a hook. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that, right?
I think he had a white tie as well.
Look the part, don't they? Don't they just look like villains like most of the time? Ajahn Chowdhury just looks like a bad guy.
It looks like the guy from what was that Team America movie?
Yeah, that guy. Fuck yeah.
It's totally Team America. Exactly. But if you have anti-terrorism laws set up in your country and you cannot arrest Anjem Chowdhury, you failed as a nation. Like that, he is such a clear case of a treasonous guy with insidious ideas who's actively trying to overthrow your government.
Yeah, and that exactly. Yeah, that is exactly the point, Devin.
Get arrested for libelness or hate speech or just saying something slightly anti-Semitic. And this guy who never got arrested before. I mean, I'm not in favor of censoring free speech, but in a country that supposedly arrests people all the time for hate speech, how did this guy not get arrested?
Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson has been arrested more times than Anjem Chowdhury. That is fucking ridiculous.
That says so much.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I think the
they
thing
will lock that boy up for anything.
I think they wanted to give him a bit of a loose collar so they could
hang
keep
himself.
an eye on him.
Or hang himself.
Maybe, yeah. But I think when the time came when they wanted to shut him up or arrest him, they clearly had full control over that.
Does anybody see this chat, by the way? Devin, do you see this chat?
Yeah. I got some
it's like a
haters in there,
cesspool of shit.
What is it? What's going on?
Just look. All you have to do is just look. Just look at it.
The chat of this video.
Crackers just keeping the black man down. I mean, what? Tommy Robinson is working together with Majid Nawaz. Yes, he is. There we go. And a factual comment.
Right. Oh wow.
So yeah, there's some. You've got to wade through 10 layers of. I don't even know what to call it.
I hope they called me a cracker.
No, I don't think the name. Well, they will now. They will call you it now because you just said it.
Wasn't there a black comedian that did a whole sketch about how the word cracker just doesn't work It doesn't
I
insult white
don't.
people.
I
Shit,
don't
man,
know.
I've
Like
never
they,
heard that.
yeah, he tried to come up with a new word that was like an insulting slur because when a white person hears the word cracker, it's like water off a duck's back. Like nobody cares.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I was thinking about that as well. It's like if a black man wants to be insulting and he calls you a cracker, it's like the first time I was called that, I had to look up
Yeah.
what that word meant. It's like it's not an insulting name. Even if you call me a
Yeah.
white twat or whatever, it's like I don't give a fuck.
So did
I'm
you
not-
encounter
I'm not-
that word before you went to America?
I'm sorry, Luke. Say again.
Did you encounter the word cracker before you went to America?
No, but I've never heard of the word wetback either.
I've
I
never
didn't know
heard.
why they were called wetbacks. Well, Mexicans in Texas are called wetbacks because wetback refers to the fact that they didn't enter the country legally, so they had to swim here to get here,
Right.
basically. So that's why they're called
See,
wetbacks.
when I was growing up, I knew of the term wetback, but I didn't know who it applied to. But I knew it had some juice to it. Like I thought it might have meant Italians or something, or like greasy hair, something like that.
It doesn't carry the same weight as the N word, right? Nigger. I'm going to say nigger.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't carry as much weight as that.
Well,
You can say
wouldn't
it
be
somewhat openly. Even at work, it's like, you damn. I mean, like, depending on what kind of relationship that you have with that person.
Well,
It's not really a slur. It is a slur, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
It's kind of strange, like, in the black community, we could call each other nigga all the time. Like, usually the word nigga would probably mean, like, friend or pal. But it's
Right.
like when a person who's white does it, it's like, oh, you can't say that, you're racist, you're evil.
Yeah, now,
But
now
I
that-
like.
Sorry, Devin, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I love me some Denzel Washington from Training Day. You know what he called his? He would say "my nigga, my nigga."
My
He would always say that
King
to
Kong
his,
ain't got shit on me.
Now,
Yeah, exactly.
now I have a friend here in Dallas. Actually, he works in Dallas, and I'm 5 hours away west. But me and him have always got on. We worked in the same store when I first started working for the company I do, and that's how we interact. He'll call me a nigger because he's a black guy, and he calls me a nigger. It's just like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to him. It's just like, all right. How's it going, pal?
Like, there are also some, like, black people that could also call white people wiggers.
Yes.
My wigger.
A wigger, a white.
Can I read some of the comments here? They're really good. There's somebody whose name is white supremacy is unstoppable. Put Lalo as a cracker. I'm getting a lot of good ones. I got Lalo is a hot Latino. Somebody put let's see. There's so much racism here. Oh my god.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, yeah.
Rico Suave. Hey, Lalo, give us a slur.
Devin, Adolf Hitler, but that's okay.
Give us a slur for Chileans.
Oh my god, look at
What
read.
should I
No, 1 second. Lalo, there comes a time when people decide that what people say does matter and is worth imprisonment. What?
What?
What? Did somebody write
That's
We're
in
that?
talking
there.
about
Somebody wrote that.
We're talking about
What
hate-
the fuck?
hates- they're talking about hate
especially but not limited to people who call for the murders of others. They're doing no, that's fucking bullshit. Fuck off. I'm stopping
No, but
watching
you
the
cannot-
chat.
you
It's bullshit.
you cannot. No. He's
Devin.
right. You cannot threaten somebody's life. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you can't.
Hijo.
Hijo.
de puta. Say that one.
Hijo de puta.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
I
you know-
I follow a guy who lives in Zimbabwe, Devon.
Mm.
Omar the Great. Follow Omar the Great. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
And he's from Zimbabwe.
I've had really good interaction with him.
He's an awesome
White
guy.
guy?
Awesome guy. No, he's a black guy.
Hmm.
He's from Zimbabwe, and he fought in the wars for Rhodesia.
Yeah.
So he's a very interesting guy to interact with.
Appropriation. He doesn't buy into only we can be racist. I'm sorry. Only white people can be racist kind of nonsense. He doesn't buy into any of that social justice warrior shit.
Exactly.
Considering there's a white genocide going on in Zimbabwe,
Exactly.
it would be kind of hypocritical to
Yeah.
not acknowledge that.
And he loves white people.
you know-
he loves white people just as
you know-
much as every other fucking color. Sorry, Devin, go ahead.
Will he have sex with him?
What?
Let me ask Luke and Tyler. Let's put our cards on the table. Interracial sex. Luke, have you had it? Yes or no? I know you're mixed, but
Yes.
and
I'm
which
still,
and
I'm
what
still
is-
a virgin.
say what?
What?
Hold on. Say what? We got to stop the press here, Tyler. But you're a young pup though.
Yes, I am. I'm 22.
Okay. Still though, get on that.
Yeah, you need to get in the game, Tyler. You need to get in the game, dude.
So Luke,
Fuck.
Luke, which do you
It's
prefer?
about to get highly personal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Which do you prefer? Like Asian women, white women, black women?
Me personally, I don't have a preference. I just like women.
That means
stuff.
Good
That
lad.
means
I
But if
find
we-
all races beautiful in their own way. There's different
This sounds
appealing factors.
well. This sounds like a beauty pageant answer. But what if we looked at the stats? What is your track record?
I
Like,
tend
do you have
to
a
go for white girls more often than not.
and the truth comes out.
But hey, Luke, is that for looks reason more, or is that you feel like you can get along with them more?
It's a combination, I think. There's from younger days, school days, there was this kind of negative attachment to kind of some black girls where they're a lot to handle, they're very mouthy, they're very, I'm trying to think of a good word for it, but they're a lot of hard work.
They don't give you a head.
Some of the time.
But also, there's more white women in your country, so you have far more options with that.
Yeah, there's more white women than other races, but it depends where you're from. Where I'm from in Birmingham, I mean, I grew up and went to schools that were majority Asian, like Sikh and Hindu, so whites were in fact the minority there.
Okay, and Lalo, what about you? You into
Lalo.
Asian women, black? Lalo, sorry. What's your preference here?
I don't know. I've dated a lot of different, depending on where I lived, because I lived in California, as you know, and I went to university in Santa Barbara, which in Santa Barbara, you know, is like, what is it, like 80 or 90% white blonde girls.
Pretty much.
Latino America, more Latino, and then I also lived in Asia, so I've kind of dated everything. Culturally, that's a bit difficult, because I think at the end of the day, you kind of make more sense with a person you're culturally similar with. It's kind of hard to date somebody you're very culturally dissimilar with.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I hear that.
even though if they're hot, you know, you still want to hook up with them, but you know, to have a steady relationship, that can be difficult.
I dated a black girl for 3 years in college.
In other words, my response is Asian. That's basically what I want to say.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's
can I bring this back? I was talking about race and stuff. I'd like to go back to religion just for a second, if that's okay.
I'm gonna take the responses now, because it must be good after this.
Yeah, I just read on the chat there that the Texas guy likes the sound of his own voice. What the fuck? They don't realize I'm not from Texas? Just because it says Texas.
I
it
didn't
doesn't
know
mean
you
that-
had a British accent. Because you have a Simpsons AVI, so I put that voice next to it the whole time.
Well, yeah, I get that. Like I talk like Nelson Muntz.
Yeah, I was imagining.
I mean, fuck.
Now I have a for it.
No, but just these fucking dumbasses, right? If you look at the chat, right, that will give you an indication of the slurry that's on the internet. I mean, really, people who slurry.
Imagine
S-L-U-R-R-Y, slurry, like this.
Notifications look like.
I'm sorry, say again.
Imagine that this is what Sam Harris's notifications look like on Twitter.
Yes, exactly, right, exactly.
Would you ever go on Twitter?
It's like
Here's
you
the
must
thing,
have
guys,
so
I
much
have-
shit. Sorry, Devin, go ahead.
It has nothing to do with you guys. This is all about me attacking Jacqueline Glenn, which is apparently taboo.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since then, all these the scum of the internet has come to me and now hate watch me the same way I hate watch, the Young Turks. So I still have not showered these people off of me or my channel. And now I blocked them, but I can't block them from this chat. I guess I could, but I mean,
no
I don't
point.
care about
Nobody
them that
fucking
much.
reads it anyway. Nobody fucking reads it. it's like somebody writing on a toilet wall in their own shit, basically.
No, but even that, somebody would read that. That has more exposure than.
Maybe.
Well,
what
it is? It's yet another uncomfortable truth, and that is there's a lot of people out there who are not smart, who say stupid shit, and we are surrounded by them. Like, this is our peers. Like, if I committed a crime, somebody in the chat room right now could be on my jury. Imagine that. Like, my life in the hands of this, somebody just said, I'm just reading through this. I mean, it's kind of insane. But
oh, it's terrible. I'm looking at it. Jacqueline for
Devin
life.
Devin wants to suck Jenk's cock. That's a statement from the chat.
So I would imagine that occasionally you might get a decent comment out of there, but it seems to be populated by 12 to 20-year-olds, I guess.
No, there are some good people. I recognize some good names in there, but we can't get overly occupied.
It's not white supremacy is unstoppable who really wants some attention. He's desperate for attention, and he's never going to get it. Ever, ever, ever. What a fucking
let's talk about that. Talk about that that Canadian atheist.
Canadian. I will start, Devin, by giving everybody who hasn't subscribed to Devin pretty much the last tweet he ever said. He included a picture of this particular bearded gentleman, and his tweet was a cross between the Unabomber, a post-op female softball player, and a Bambi-killing pussy dreaming about home invasion. I mean, no offense, Devin. I mean, you're restricted to 140 characters, but fuck me, dude, you know how to blast them out.
Man.
Oh, and another one, was it Scarlett Johansson fucking a rainbow? It didn't get any better than that, right? That was fucking funny.
Well, thank you. But
you're welcome.
That guy, I realized that he had nothing more to offer when he posted his apology video, which was not an apology.
Yeah.
Was it just me who thought that guy was racist, or other guys?
No.
He was racist.
He has the racism of low expectations.
Luke, you engaged him. You talked to him. What is your take on that guy? And did he have anything credible to say to you?
No, he was sort of not really acknowledging the comments and batting them off as trolling, and he didn't really engage. He just, he acknowledged them without acknowledging them, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's over his head. Like there's something not connecting. There's a misfiring of neurons here. I think he's just
he doesn't realize that his tone is condescending, and he's just racist in the way he speaks and refers to black people. Like, there's a list of stuff like crops were mentioned, and what else? Abused dog, mentally ill,
children,
crops.
Like, it was as if he did not realize who the black people were in his analogies. It was crazy.
He really looked like he looked a little bit in the headlights, but I will give him some kudos for having the balls to actually appear live with you. I know he ended up looking like a twat, but I mean, fuck. At least he did it.
The guy's a man. The guy's a real man. Did you see his beard and his tats?
Oh my god, he works on the patch, dude. He works on the patch.
Dude, you wouldn't last a day on the oil patch.
Oh, don't tell me about it, dude. Funnily enough, I was talking to Omar the other day on Twitter, and I tweeted him a Google picture of where I'm from. Not where I'm from, but where I live. Mm-hmm. Where I live it has I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's one of the biggest oil pad areas, as we would call them. Little concrete pads with a fucking drilling rig on it. We have thousands. If you take a flight out of where I live, you will fly at 400-500 miles an hour for 20 minutes over these things. It is everywhere. Just drilling rigs, just drilling for oil and gas, and that's all these places do.
Oh yeah.
So
Hook 'em horns. Well, you know what I find. You know what I find interesting is I get racist accusations from people that really don't know what I'm talking about. Like, they don't live among black people, for starters, which is an amazing thing. Like, Edmonton has 3% black people, none of which live anywhere near this bearded lesbian, right? So I come from a place where it was mostly black people.
Bearded lesbian.
Like I know. It's just fantastic to me that some guy in the most remote part of northern Canada is telling me about racist shit. Like, dude, like, racism in Edmonton, can you imagine? Like, he has no bearing. It's just pure ideological nonsense.
Yeah, leave Canada.
A middle-class white liberal.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine me like ripping into some Indian about like racism in India and like, here's my thoughts on the situation in Mumbai, having never been there, having no knowledge of the situation. Here's what I have to say. I mean,
yeah, and that's it. And going back to Twitter again, if I know you do it, Lalo, that you don't retweet anything that you haven't already fact checked. And that's what I do as well. That you haven't already fact checked, that you know what you're retweeting is truthful.
Or at least we try. And
exactly, yeah.
But that's not really the difference. The difference is that of course we tried for it to be true, but if somebody came to me, and this has happened, I tweeted like maybe some website that was a parody website, or it has happened that a website tweeted a picture that wasn't actually what it was. Like somebody tweeted a picture, I think, of kids being burned alive, of ISIS burning kids alive, and it turned out it wasn't a real photo. It was a demonstration in Yemen, maybe, or something like that. And so I retracted. I said, okay, this isn't a real picture. I tweeted out, this is not real. So the difference is truth to us matters. Even if we get it wrong, I don't mind getting it wrong. I'm on Twitter to interact with people, to tell me and learn from them. As much as I'm giving my opinion or telling them things. I also get a lot from people messaging me, tweeting me, have you seen this? Check out this article, So, yeah. The other people, they go on Twitter and they don't want to learn anything. You question them, I bet, if you send a question to some people on Twitter, they'll block you immediately. That's the difference. I don't block people for questioning me or sending me an article saying, read this is a counter-argument. Great, Other people are like, I don't think you're right, and here's why. Check out this article. Blocked. That's those people, they're useless. I have no interest in people.
Yeah,
like
it's almost like those people want to start a conversation but don't want to finish the conversation.
They want to make a point, and that's
they'll just block you like in the middle of a conversation. They'll just say, "Here's my opinion," and you're blocked.
Yeah, most people.
I'm sorry,
most people want to speak from a place of authority. They're not going on social media to ask a question. They're going to tell you something, to express their thought, which they have vetted themselves and they know to be right. Now, when they're confronted and being like, "You're actually wrong," this is a confrontation. They sense that as negativity, and then they eject. They say, "Okay, this is a bad interaction here. Let me get out of this."
They just want you to listen and believe.
Yeah, and then block and report and whatever. Yep.
The facts you're presenting do not reinforce my preconceived notion, so therefore you're a racist. Go away, you're blocked.
Yeah, it's like I'll retweet Lalo's stuff, especially the stuff he does about Cenk, because he will concoct a little 25 to 30-second clip and attach it to a tweet, which is, in this day and age, I believe that is the best way to get information across.
The first time I quoted Cenk, I got into a full-day argument as to whether he said it. That's why I started posting videos. I got a ton of people fighting me for a day as to whether the first thing I quoted from him saying was that he said, Raif Badawi, whether Cenk said he got a light spanking. Yeah. What a obnoxious thing to take. It took him a year to talk about Raif, and when he did, he said he got a light spanking. Although Raif was like hospitalized and couldn't go through with more flogging because of what he got. And Cenk, on this huge matter that Amnesty International has been treating, the wife is always tweeting for him, things like that. Imagine I've seen the kids interview, and Cenk says on his channel to like 1 billion viewers he got a light spanking. I thought that was way too rude. And it wasn't like he doesn't know about this because it's been in the news for a year. It took him a year to say anything, and that's the road he went down. So I quote him as saying it. People start telling me, no, it's out of context. It's out of context. I'm like, how could it be out of context? He said he got a light spanking. That's what he said. There's no other context, right? So
Yeah.
I had to and from then on, I just started posting videos of him just talking nonsense because I don't want to have.
That's it. Exactly, and you get to that point where you think, I've had enough now. This is absolute bullshit. From a journalistic point of view, it's lying. You're not checking your facts. You're misrepresenting everything. You obviously have an agenda. I was listening to the Charleston shooting video, Devin, while I was driving to Dallas, which is, I think, a really good example of how anybody can be misrepresented.
What did you say? Or what did I say?
Were you not listening? Oh, you don't remember what you said? What? No, I'm joking. No, it was the where he was talking about the judge, the white judge.
Oh, right.
It was that one.
Oh God.
Where that was his point, that the judge was telling the victims, the living victims of that tragedy, to apologize. That was his narrative. That he told those people. His story was that the judge told those people to apologize to Devin. To forgive. I'm sorry, forgive.
The whole story was white judge forgives Dylan Roof. Like, it was ridiculous.
Was a great video you did. That was a great video you did, Devin. I recommend that everybody watch that video you did on Cenk covering the judge who quote unquote forgave Dylan Roof.
Yes.
That
it's really telling. Really telling.
Yeah.
But, Cenk, I try to move past him. I try to not give him attention, but he will always say something that is so goddamn aggravating. I get pulled back into it like Michael Corleone in Godfather 3. Like, the other day I heard him talking about Young Turks, and he's bragging and he's beating his hairy chest about it, and he's like, the Young Turks are the #1 news show on the internet. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are you fucking... Define news show. I mean, this is the most loosely... Can you imagine that he refers to the Young Turks as news? Like, that's a news program.
No, that is not news at all. If anything...
they comment on the news. They take the thing is that also pisses me off, that they take news that other real journalists have done, who have gone actually to Syria, they've gone to Yemen, they've gone to Iraq, and then they comment on it. So they're commentators at best, but they never give the recognition to the people who actually did the journalism.
But wait a minute, unqualified commentators.
Well, but they don't give any credit. And that bugs me. It's like, I'm not a journalist. I don't go to Iraq and cover news stories. At best, I just read a story from somebody who actually had the balls to go there and talk about it. And they don't have the balls to go to these places.
Yeah, this is not Vice. Okay, they're about as far away from Vice as you can get. But like, hold on.
I've got a question for Lalo.
Knock yourself out. Go.
After your video about Cenk lying regarding the Ben Affleck and Sam Harris thing, I think at the start of the video, or near the start, you said you were... No, in the description, actually, I think it says from a TYT fan.
Yeah, I was.
Still a TYT fan?
Absolutely not. But you know something. So I was a guy who I saw the Young Turks a lot, and I do think he did a lot of good stories. Like, it really bothered me that I couldn't get any good criticism of Obama. Every criticism of Obama was he's a Muslim. He's not a real American from Fox News. And I wanted to see, well, what's really going on with this guy? Let's see an actual sustained criticism. And the Young Turks did that a lot, and I still think that was good of Cenk to say when Obama did something good, did something bad. So I did like them a lot, but it was just that was the first video I ever made on YouTube because it just bugged me so much. I'd never done a YouTube video before, and the thing was, he didn't do it once. He did it again and again and again. Then he talks to Sam Harris, and he does it again, and he did it recently again. He said Sam Harris wants to bomb the whole Middle East with nuclear weapons. He has a 3-hour conversation with Cenk that he doesn't want to do that. He never said that. It's a hypothetical philosophical question. I do that. I ask that all the time. I study international relations here in Chile, so I've asked that question in papers with a nuclear war with North Korea all the time. And then recently, Devin knows this. He said it again recently that Sam Harris wants to bomb the Middle East. So it's like, what the fuck? And then it's just I could have looked the other way at the beginning because I know Cenk probably didn't read any Sam Harris. He just got his information from C.J. Werleman and Reza Aslan, so he was misinformed. Okay, have a conversation with Sam Harris and learn what his opinion is. Okay, now I know your opinion. Now I can debate you on it. Now I can see what's wrong with it. But no, he's misrepresented. So I'm not a fan anymore because now he's just too dishonest. I can't trust what he says from Adam. I don't know if what he's saying about of this person is true or not because I've seen what he's done to Sam Harris and Ayan Hirsi Ali and other people.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've learned about myself, and I'd like to ask you guys, over the past year I've learned that I have a white-hot, seething hatred for progressives and regressives.
Every day I do more.
Completely in that.
My question is there an example of a progressive that I would not hate? Like, is there
I can't think of any.
I mean, between the social justice warriors and the feminists, I don't know which one I don't like.
They seem to embody everything that annoys me in a person.
Every single progressive I used to like, I now hate. I used to be a fan of like people nothing to do with religion, like Noam Chomsky, Naomi Klein, who write about politics and economics. But now that I actually was studied a master's in this subject and read for myself and fact checked what they wrote. Or Michael Moore, his goddamn movie Fahrenheit 9/11. Used to be a huge fan. I saw him in Santa Barbara. He came to Santa Barbara and talked. At that time, I thought he was a god. And now I a few years ago I rewatched Fahrenheit 9/11, and I stop and I pause it every time he gives a fact. I fact check it online and see if it's true. Half of the shit he said is false.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like Michael Moore, Oliver Stone, Naomi Klein, Noam Chomsky, any progressive you can name. They're just such full of shit, and people think they're giving the truth with them. They're not. It's just so false. Noam Chomsky, a lot of people don't know he talks he's written a lot about South America and Venezuela, and Hugo Chavez. I don't think a lot of people outside of South America know about that too much, but Hugo Chavez in Venezuela is pretty much the worst. It's practically, it's not Hitler, but it's getting pretty damn close there to just Stalinism in Venezuela. Now Hugo Chavez is dead, but it's just a horrible situation there. And you have progressives based on Noam Chomsky's writing saying, "Oh no, Hugo Chavez is a great guy." What the?
But what's interesting? Those guys you named, all of those guys have hatred towards America, and everything they say, the theme is it's our fault. We're the bad guys. And I think there must be a psychological thing, like an itch that scratches, because when you say that America's the problem, that seems like there could be a solution there. Like, if we're the bad guy, we're the source of the problem, then, okay, now we have something tangible to attack. Whereas if like, global jihad is an actual problem and we didn't cause it, then that's kind of unsettling. So it's something about this self-hating agenda these people have that it satisfies them on some deep level.
Somebody just asked in the chat if Majid Nawaz was a progressive. Fuck.
Really?
I guess he is in some respects. I guess he is.
Yeah. But see, the difference is, guys, the English people, your terms are totally different than our terms. So a conservative in England has nothing to do with an American conservative. And when
in Chile, I would be considered hardcore right wing. In the United States, I'd be hardcore left wing. It's like right and left in the world is totally different.
We really need like a primer, like on just sort of discussing what these terms mean, because like what were they calling Garrett Wilders? They're calling him far right, and he is nothing.
Well, he is. I think he's not far right.
Every single Muslim is far left. Every single one, even though they're homophobic, they're anti-drugs, they're anti-alcohol, they're against women's rights, against abortion rights, all this stuff. But every single Muslim is left wing.
Yeah, and in Sweden, the guys that are getting called far right, they're like left wing for us. Like they're liberal Democrats, but if you say shit in Sweden, instantly you're far right if you are not on the agenda.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happens to you, Devin. If you speak about immigration in Sweden, for example, that's it. You're racist.
Yeah, and like Douglas Murray. Douglas Murray is a neocon. You hear neocon in America, you instantly freak out and the conversation's over.
Douglas Murray is, I mean, if you listen to anything that guy says, I don't see how anybody could disagree, because he's just stating facts and he's just explaining how things are.
Well, the guy's in my lineup. I'm a huge fan of him.
I know. He's a fucking awesome dude. But I will tell you this. I hadn't even heard of him until you introduced me to him.
Oh, really?
How's that? Yeah.
He debated.
I'd never heard of him.
He debated alongside Ayaan Hirsi Ali in the debate about Islam, and he spoke really well.
Right. Is Islam a religion of peace? That was the topic.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous topic was that.
If anybody's not aware, there's a Godless Spell Checker online. He has a podcast, and I'm a patron of his. I'm a patron to two people, and he's the other one, Devin.
Oh, nice.
Because he interviews people like Sam Harris and Majid Nawaz and Ayaan Hirsi Ali and people like that. So to me, he's on the right side. He's on the right side. He wants to know more. He wants to know what's going on, and that's what it is. Because you're not always going to know, because you're not in that country. Nobody's living in freaking Bangladesh or Pakistan or the thoughts that are coming out of those countries. But these people seem to have more of an idea of it than us. And it's just.
Mm-hmm. Can I give you guys an example? Because I think it's really important what Devin said about anti-Americanism. I mean, especially as a person who's lived internationally, including the States, I've seen that anti-Americanism is a very real thing that people don't really talk about, and it almost all originates from the U.S. It's from people like from Noam Chomsky or Michael Moore or Oliver Stone. They give the gunfire for this stuff, and then you see Hugo Chavez or Osama bin Laden holding up their books as this is the truth. This anti-American book by Noam Chomsky. And so when I talk to people here in Chile, and people who know next to nothing about Islam or the Middle East, they'll start talking to me about for a half hour and explain to me how all the problems of the Middle East are the fault of the U.S. And it's clear to me they don't know what they're talking about. And then I'll stop them after listening to all their crap for a half hour or an hour, and I'll tell them, what is the difference between the Taliban and Al Qaeda? You think that's my basic question that I've asked for years here in Chile to almost anyone who's either young and well educated or a bit older and maybe less educated. It doesn't matter who. How many times do you think a person has been able to explain even a little bit of the difference there? That one is from Afghanistan, the other one was formed by Osama. Do you think they knew anything? They give me a blank face, have no idea, none. They couldn't name 3 countries in the Middle East. But they're very happy to tell me how the Middle East conflicts work, and it's all America's fault.
Yeah. Because the answer that it's America's fault is a soothing. It's aloe vera to the situation. It's like, okay, I know who the enemy is. But because you hear it in other countries, like Australia, this whole no room for racism shit, they would always steer the conversation into, Tony Abbott, his foreign policy is the problem. That's why Muslims are rightfully upset, is because Australia's foreign policy. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? They're not doing anything on the international scene. And you also hear this in England. They will, in fact, in Germany, if you bring up Muslim terrorism in Germany, they will always, the liberals out here, they will talk about how German companies are selling guns. They are selling arms to somebody who's selling them to somebody who's getting into the hands of Muslim jihadists. And
we're talking Sig Sauer and companies like that.
Yeah. So
German companies, they are.
Right. But they'd rather talk about that because the bad guy is the Germans. It's them, and they have all this Nazi guilt, and so they're comfortable saying we're the bad guys. I don't buy it. It's so sickening. But if anybody listening to this, anybody in the chat can show me a progressive that I would not, vomit in my mouth upon hearing, please send me a link.
I'm watching. You don't have to watch that because I'll do it for you, pal.
Okay.
There must be one, but
Peter Hitchens. Are you kidding me?
Peter Hitchens.
Into the social sciences. It's kind of something that's don't know if it's encouraged or propagated or what, but they view they basically root for the small guy and they attack those who are perceived to have power. So it's either America or the white man or the West or whoever, and they'll rally against the perceived power and always root for the smaller guy.
Yeah, it's an underdog.
It's almost a national white guilt. It's as if the entire United States, even if they're not white, they have white guilt. You know what I mean? It's like even a black person, when they look at the Middle East, they'll feel white guilt. It's like, oh my God, I'm to blame for this.
It's Western guilt. It's just
Western guilt, yeah.
I don't buy it. It's so, oh God. But you know, Sam Harris did a podcast that I should do a video on, where he did a test. It was a theoretical question, and it was asked to liberals and conservatives. And the question was, would you kill one person to save the lives of 10 people? And then they did it by race, and they said, would you kill a white person to say, and it wasn't so overt, but it was implied, like, would you save Tyrone or whatever? Would you save one person, one black person, to save the lives of 10 whites? And when the conservatives answered this question, and then they'd flip it, and they'd say, would you kill one white person to save the lives of 10 blacks? Conservatives had the same answer, irregardless of race. So they were saying, yes, I would always kill this person to save 10 people. When the liberals did it, they would always kill the white person, and they would never kill the black person.
Wow.
Like, literally.
I saw that. Yeah,
it's the baby.
I think that goes back to your latest Berkeley video, Devin.
Yeah. This is a real phenomenon. People, I'm not making this up.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. I always call racism it's liberal kryptonite. You know, it's like Superman considers himself all powerful, just like liberals do. But Superman has that one object that if it even comes close to him, it'll kill him, and that's racism for people in the United States.
Like, to me, it's the opposite.
Called a racist, and it's like, I'm dying. Oh my God, I have to get out of this. I have to do anything I have to do. If you need me to say something to not be called a racist, tell me what it is, and I will do it. You just did a video about Anna talking about black women getting a fro. Yep. And, you know, there's the black guy there, and he's like, you better say that this is racist as hell. Imagine if she gave any other opinion. You know, it's just...
I should do a follow-up video.
Oh my God, that video just made me just facepalm so much. It's just the stupidest thing ever.
I tweeted about it today, and it bothered me that guy was saying that an international magazine can't talk about a black hairstyle without mentioning the history of African Americans. I thought, wait, what the hell? Why do they have to mention African Americans? Why don't they have to mention the reality of people who have an afro in Brazil or Jamaica or Somalia? What is this? What is this obsession that the afro represents the African American?
But the thing is, it's like in the 70s, like the afro was actually was used for all races, not just for black people.
Right.
Yeah. I want to see a Jewish hair magazine, and just a whole.
Tyler is totally right. I mean, there's tons
how they do those little curl things. How does that work out?
Jewfro.
South America, tons of people who look black have afros.
It's all about race. I mean, race is not their. It's not their kryptonite. It's their catnip. They want to talk about racism. Like that's the narrative they love talking about, because they can point fingers.
It's their catnip because it's their kryptonite. Because the idea is, the more I accuse other people of racism, the more impossible it is that somebody else accuses me. Because if I accuse everybody of racism, then it'll be so clear I'm against it. You know, if I call you a racist and him a racist, I'm the only racist in the room. How can you accuse me of racism? It's impossible. So I just have to accuse everybody of racism all the time, no matter what.
It's a simple distraction technique. This is what magicians use. So if a magician is going to palm a card or pull out a rabbit, and he doesn't want you looking at his left hand, he's going to bring out a girl with double D tits and have an explosion on stage right, and you're supposed to look over there. Meanwhile, he's doing something else. So they don't want to talk about the real issues. They want to divert and just say, "Look over here, you're a racist."
So let's talk about. I'm sorry, Devin. Go on.
Yeah, no, yeah, go ahead.
So Luke. Indians versus Pakistanis. What's your opinion on that one? From an English point of view.
Okay, well, my experience is more with Indians. As I said earlier, I went to school and grew up in an area that was majority Sikh and Hindu. There were next to no Muslims or Pakistani Muslims or any other type of Muslim really in my school or in the area. I have in Birmingham there are pockets of Muslim communities. I don't know if you guys saw that Fox piece on Birmingham being overrun by Muslims and it being a no-go. But
I didn't see that.
Yeah, check it. It's a sensationalist piece of trash from Fox.
Wow! Wow! Who would have thought?
Birmingham. But yeah, the Indian community, they're quite well integrated. There's no real serious racial tensions or disagreements between different groups, in my experience. Of course, you're always going to get racism, and
of course,
it tended to come from the majority onto the minorities.
So, would you say that?
Sorry,
go ahead.
but like for Pakistanis, like I heard the most recent controversy in regards to racism was actually for that Jurassic World movie coming out, where they used the word Paki, and then they got offended over it.
What?
Yeah, it's like a while back, like when Jurassic World was released into theaters, like Pakistanis in the UK complained that the movie used the word Paki, and that considered to be racist to them.
I've never heard that, but yeah, Pakistanis do not like to be called Pakis.
Yeah.
It was used as a racial slur in Britain, especially in the 70s and 80s. You know, Paki scum or whatever. It was a derogatory racial slur.
Isn't that also a symptom of many things we're saying, that the progressives are actually, as Devin calls them, regressives? Because the more I see these liberals, progressives, saying they don't want racial slurs said in movies, they don't want violence shown in movies, they don't want rape in Game of Thrones shown, they don't want all these things shown, that they sound exactly like the people in the 50s, the conservatives in the 50s, who didn't want ever any bad words, they didn't want any violence, they didn't want any sex, they didn't want...
It's almost like it's very Puritan in nature.
They wanted everything sterilized, you know, they wanted...
Are we going into SJW territory here?
Well, I mean, it's always...
Because you know we've talked about racism. We're going into SJWs now, right? Let's keep this thing on track.
Act exactly like the SJWs, even if they don't call themselves that. You know,
well, nobody calls them. Who would call themselves a social justice warrior? Well, I guess some people would, but
not that as their handle, but
yeah, some people do.
Yeah, some people have that like right in their profile. I'm a social justice, or but worse than in social justice warrior is intersectional feminist.
Intersectional feminist, exactly. That's oh god, that's the worst thing.
Intersectional feminist, like that's like jihad of social justice warriors.
Yeah, of logic.
Yeah,
the jihad of logic. There you go.
I've kept silent on the feminism issue because I feel like there's a lot of guys out there addressing it, but I mean they're ripe to be picked on. I mean they're saying some insane stuff out there, and I just think the topic has been beaten to death a bit.
Have you seen the?
Not really. No. I think I think in a way it's only really starting. I'm sorry, Lila. Go ahead.
Have you guys seen Teal Deer?
What's that?
Teal Deer.
Teal Deer is a YouTube channel.
I'm aware of who he is. I follow him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I mean the good thing is that he bashes feminism and MRAs, and he I don't agree with him on everything, but he always backs up what he says with facts. He goes into if somebody mentioned a study or even referenced a study, he'll go and find the full study. He'll read the whole thing and he'll break it apart just like Devin's done. You know?
Very much like Vernaculus as well.
Yeah.
They're all in the same vein, and I think on I watched a video of Vernaculus the other day, and it was a 10,000 subscriber Q&A, and he said he was part of a group that was Sargon of Akkad, Justicar, who is to me quite a bizarre character. He's all right. I don't disagree with his views, but he's a little bit bizarre if you end up interacting with him online. It's like his I get the impression that it's like it's like a secret club that you're not invited to, and if you don't know the in words, then you're fucked.
Yeah, what do you guys think about? What do you guys think about Sargon? Because I
I
like
like him. I like him. Devin, if you remember, if you remember the hangout when I was in the car,
Yeah.
I recommended him to you, and
Yeah,
you haven't heard of him.
The guy's on point. I mean, he's solid as hell. I mean, I haven't heard a video that I disagreed with on this.
No.
I
Exactly.
think he's really good. He's really methodical, and he breaks down stuff, and he's got sources and facts behind all of his arguments, and he links his sources.
What does he do for a living?
What does he do for a living? I have no idea. He's from England. He's from Swindon, I believe, because somebody doxed him.
Swindon. I know Swindon.
Devin.
Yeah.
Devin, don't talk about doxing. Don't talk about doxing.
No, but I love Swindon because it's from The Office. That's where.
Yes, it is. Speaking of which, I have a funny story to tell. Would anybody like to hear it?
Yep.
Okay, so last night, and this is going back to Twitter again. Does anybody know who Ewan McIntosh is?
The guy
You would,
behind
Devin. You would know it.
right? The guy who produces her stuff.
No. It's the Scotch egg guy.
Ah, okay.
Oh God, that's his name.
Ewan McIntosh.
Oh God.
Well, but you know what I'm talking about, right? The scene where fucking Ricky Gervais has got him in the office for his monthly appraisal, and his answers are
eczema.
Yeah, fucking strongly agree, somewhat, whatever, and his answer is I don't know. Yes, from The Office, exactly. He worked with Ricky Gervais, right? So, and this is why I love Twitter, and this is why I'm going back to it, right? Last night, and I follow him on Twitter, he sent a tweet out, and I'm trying to find it, just give me 1 second. It was. I mean, to me, it was why I love Twitter so much. Just give me 1 sec, because he sent a tweet out asking why his Bluetooth headphones were cutting in and out. Me and Devin will be able to relate to this because we had this similar problem earlier. And he asked why his Bluetooth wouldn't connect. So nobody else had replied. And me and Mini Barry 73, you knew that as Devin, right?
Yeah,
Mini
yeah.
Barry. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, I love that guy.
So I replied to that guy, and I said, I replied to him, should I say, as to okay, so what device are you using, right? Just like tech support, basically. Just 1 sec, I'm trying to find it. It was fucking insane. 1 sec. I'm sorry. Give me 1 sec. You talk between yourselves. There we go. All right. So here we go. He sent me a screenshot of his fucking screen and everything. All right. So his text was. Okay. So there we go. So I asked him what was the problem. What app are you using? Shit like specific stuff. I said, just connecting through Bluetooth and watching Netflix on a laptop. That's all he was trying to do, right? Scotch Egg Guy. Does anybody not know who Scotch Egg Guy is?
I wonder how big he is right now.
Not smaller than what he is now. So I said, forget the device and repair. He said, I said, can't believe I'm giving tech support to Big Keith from The Office. Where's that Bruce Lee guy when you need him? You remember that scene?
I love that.
Fucking Bruce Lee guy.
He is quintessential IT guy.
Yeah, so that went over his head. He just said, I can't see that anywhere. I said, get your laptop to forget the device you're using, then try to reconnect, like the reverse of what you did to connect it. And he sends me a screenshot. There is no way to do that. Right?
That's his
I said, well, how did you connect it in the first place? And then Mini Barry jumps in. According to the IMDb, Matt, meaning the Bruce Lee guy, isn't doing much this year. Ask him. It's like, fuck, this is why I love fucking Twitter, right?
Yeah.
No, I found this fucking hilarious. I said, yeah, but that doesn't solve Ewan's immediate Bluetooth problems. Fail. And then he comes back and says, okay, I removed it and paired it again. We'll see if that helps. Cheers. And I said, always. That'll be $150, please. He said, I don't know if it's fixed yet. Like, he doesn't get the sarcasm. What the fuck? And I went, shit, I blew my load already. And then I give him more tech support, and then Mini Barry. But my point is that at the end of it, I went onto Bluetooth.org's site because this cunt is so vague. He just said it's not working. So I screenshotted the Bluetooth.org website page and just typed in "Why don't you work?" and circled it and sent him it, like being sarcastic. Like, I'm not really trying to help you, but I'm just being funny. Immediately comes back and says yes. Like, what answer did you get?
Oh my
like,
God.
is he that fucking dumb?
Thick. Well,
so then I said, Magic Ball says unlikely. I mean,
man, but at least, I mean, that is cool to talk to a guy. I mean,
exactly, and that's my point about going on about Twitter, because you can engage with these people.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm reading through the chat here. Some people were saying I should try to get Gad Sad on like in a hangout, or
Absolutely, yeah.
Some guy's like, hey, you should chat with Sam Harris. I'm like, yeah, I'll send Sam an email. I'm sure he's up for it. But,
I've got his personal email address. Who hasn't, right?
Yeah. I mean, good lord.
But Gad Sad is a very good example, actually, because he will engage with you.
I know Gad is active as hell.
Fuck it! I sent him a tweet last night that said, "You big-brained, blue-eyed genius, kiss," and he retweeted it, and he said, "I have green eyes, son."
Well, I saw Gad on the Dave Rubin show recently, the Rubin Report, and like just the colors of Gad are remarkable.
Oh, he's just such a beautiful man to watch.
He's a beautiful man. I mean, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, should I adjust my screen? Like, what is this? Like he is. Am I wrong? He is a tan Lebanese man.
He's like an Arabic Father Christmas.
Yeah, but it's the silver. It's like the silverback vibe with the beaming eyes, like the wolf eyes, and the
intelligence.
Yes,
everything.
That's what it is. It's what he's saying is so palatable.
He's beautiful. I want to kiss that man.
Can we acknowledge what a nice guy Dave Rubin is?
Oh,
yes, we can all say that. Dave Rubin is on point.
When the whole Ben Affleck Sam Harris thing, the only person who did a great video on it, of the breakdown, like even close to the Young Turk, was Dave Rubin. And recently he's tweeted me and said he really liked my tweets. He's DM'd me, direct messaged me through Twitter saying really kind things to me. He's the only person of who has some kind of standing in journalism, who actually interacts with his audience. I know he's interacted a lot with Devin.
Yeah, and
he doesn't just retweet you, he'll actually interact with you and be really nice to you.
He's awesome, and in the next couple of weeks, his show is officially starting on Aura TV, and he's going to be he is on a campaign to actually challenge people on the left. So this is a guy spearheading the new left, and
maybe that's your progressive. That's your progressive.
Yeah, I'd say so. You've answered your own question, Devin.
Yeah, it's Dave Rubin.
Rubin. I wonder if he would call himself that, because if he is what a progressive should be, then I'm all in favor of it. It's just. Maybe I disagree with him on something. I haven't heard about it yet, but I mean, damn, guys like him need to be louder. They need to have more of a following.
But is it about disagreeing with one another? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I watch your videos. I don't agree with everything. I'm not going to agree with everything Tyler says on his videos or anyone. I've never seen a bunch of anyone's videos and agreed with 100% everything.
Get out.
That's not really the point. It's like when you have that disagreement. Like how we interact with one another, you know, like me.
Yes, act intelligently and engage. Yes,
we'll interact like civilized people, and I'll say, "Well, go fuck yourself," and I'm blocking you from everything, you know.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
that's Devin. Devin does that.
There's levels of disagreement. So like, you know,
it's the disagreement when you get to the point where it's like Cenk Uygur, who just keeps repeating the lie. You know, the lie just keeps coming. You can't get rid of it. You know, you can't tell the person, I think you misunderstood me. That's not my position, and this is what I really think. And they're like, fuck you. That's what I understood. That's your position forever. Doesn't matter what you say from here on out. You know, how can you argue with that? You're not going to argue.
Did anyone see the Binoculars video? Was it the Krauthammer? The deliberate misquote?
Yes, I watched that.
And was Anthony? No, it wasn't Anthony. It was someone else. He actually issued an apology for Krauthammer on a full episode of The Young Turks. Did you know that?
No, he didn't.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't on their main channel.
It wasn't an apology.
Yeah, but
it wasn't an apology.
I mean, that's the point. That's what I was getting to. He issued an apology, and he said, "Okay, so here's what he really said, but I'm just going to reiterate that he was totally wrong and I was totally right."
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.
Well, first of all,
the entire segment was about him saying, what was it that he said? That this is a reflection of radical Islam. and Dave Huger and the entire panel there heard that he said this is a reflection of Islam. And for 10 minutes they talked about him just on that one quote. That's it. The whole quote was that.
Yeah, it was absurd. I did a video on it, but the thing is, his non-apology was not on the Young Turks main channel, which has over 2 million subscribers. It was on a secondary channel that has 37,000 subscribers, and like nobody saw this. So like that tells you how important this correction was to him, where he just put it off on some little.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I think Vinakis pointed that out, though, right?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, okay.
But here's my point. Like, I want guys like Dave Rubin to be heard more. So if I can support that guy in any way, and he's doing fine. I mean, the guy's popular.
So this is where it goes back to, Devin, and we're talking about Twitter again, right? If we can propagate those positive memes, ideas, whatever, that's what we need to be doing. As whatever you want to call all the people that are watching Devin right now and think he's fucking awesome or hate him or whatever, or well, the people that hate him can fuck off, right? But the people that really like his output and like Chili's output and like Tyler's output and like Autopsy 87's output, those are the things that we need to propagate, and we need to spread that.
This is a new group of people. This is the new left. I mean, somebody come up with a term for it, because what the progressives are regressive. That's a meme I am enchanted that is spreading. Please call them regressives. But like,
I love.
We've already that is an idea that is being propagated.
Devin, is that your term? Did you think of that?
No, I heard somebody said it, and then I intentionally went out of my way to say it all the time because it is so perfectly the point.
Really good term.
Was it Vindicator?
Yeah, it was Vindicator. I think it was.
I subscribed to that guy a couple of days back. And I'm sharing the shit out of his stuff. He's good too.
Yeah.
They're not conservatives. They claim to be progressive liberals who act total in opposition to every liberal idea.
But here's the thing. Words have meaning. So like I've made this point before. Take the Nazi Party. If I just broke it down for you and said National Socialists, that sounds great. It sounds like a good. I'm behind National Socialism. Sure, go for it. It's just it doesn't mean what it sounds like it means.
Are you quoting Jank right now, where he said social justice warriors are a great thing because social and justice and warriors are all great things?
Yeah, just like. Yeah, just like.
I actually thought the exact same thing. I thought. Wait, what the fuck, Jake? If you broke down Nazi, which means National Socialism, are you in favor of a nation? Sure. Are you in favor of socialism? Sure. So German National Socialism sounds
exactly.
Great.
But like this, it's like
what fucking bullshit is that?
If you take the words Young Turks, there's not young. Everybody loves young and Turks. Sure, I'm Turkish. What the fuck? Young Turks together, they're a genocidal group. Like this is you have to like frame this. It's a battle of language. But you know what? I think I'm going to do a video on Majid Nawaz next. Or sorry, Majid. I got to get that right. God damn it, Sam Harris.
Majid Nawaz. Majid Nawaz.
Yeah, but Sam Harris mispronounced it from the get-go, and I've been screwed ever since. But this is a guy. Let me ask you. Guess how?
And there's another guy that will engage with you on Twitter. There is another guy that will reply to your tweets.
Who, Majid?
Just one tweet with tweets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. Guess how many subscribers Majid Nawaz has on his YouTube?
30,000.
12.
1,500.
900.
What?
900 for Majid Nawaz. Now he doesn't have that many videos, but this is a guy. If Russell Brand has 1 million subscribers, Majid Nawaz should have 10 million. This is bullshit.
So there we go about propagating ideas, Devin. It all goes back to that.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. He needs the support, and he needs the. It sounds ridiculous, you know, when you retweet or like or whatever. It sounds kind of pointless, right?
It reminded me of the one of the email discussions I had with Sam Harris after I had put out his Christian morality video, and we were talking. I was like, Sam, I'm just so happy to amplify and get your speech out to a bigger audience. And I told him, I said, you know what? I think it's a tragedy that you have like 300,000 Facebook likes, where somebody like Demi Lovato has 24 million. And he said, he writes back to me and he goes, and you know what the sad irony is? I don't even know who Demi Lovato is.
I don't either.
Right now. Actually, that's what I'm doing right now.
Exactly. So you guys don't know who she is, and she has 24 million or something crazy. She probably has more than that. So she's. I just saw the
hashtag solidarity on the chat, which is what Majid Nawaz is all about.
I still don't know who. I'm googling her right now. I still have no idea who.
Exactly. Well, you're not the demographic, guys. It's not bald and balding men. But yeah, it's if we can. That to me is worthwhile. If I can boost somebody, in whatever little way, that is a positive trend. I mean, put it this way: I can rest easy knowing that fat brown buffalo. If you type that into Google, you're going to get pictures of me, and check.
We had that same conversation, Devin, on Twitter. I dedicate a lot more of my time to Twitter than you do than your videos, and I told you I'm really happy. I want to post your videos, because these are good videos. Like there's so many retarded videos out there,
Yeah.
And you look at them and they have 500,000 views.
Yep. A lot of noise.
All they're saying the whole time is that this new movie with Emma Stone is racist because she plays a quarter Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen 10 videos on that.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Hey, Devin.
Yeah.
Because Emma Stone
Just to correct something that you said, I'm sorry. Majid Nawaz has 55,000.6 followers on Twitter now.
On Twitter, yeah. I was talking about his YouTube, but.
No,
okay. I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah. I mean, but still, that's good for Twitter. But I wonder. I don't know. A tweet is not as powerful as a video, and he puts out good videos.
Yeah, I agree.
But tweets are easily propagated, whereas videos are not. Tweets can be passed in a second.
Well,
you retweet and it's done.
But the YouTube videos reach people in a deeper way.
But that's why a tweet of a video is the key. You got to tweet videos.
Right.
Yeah.
So you keep making videos, and I'll keep retweeting that shit.
Okay, good. Because I have no Twitter followers, so I need help.
What? You got a few, pal. I follow you.
I follow you too.
Surprisingly enough.
I'll follow you, Devin.
Please do.
Luke has 2 followers, I think, on Twitter, and I'm one of them.
No, I have more now. I've grown.
He's got 4. No, dude, you got 6, actually.
Wow.
There you go, playing me down.
I know, I'm sorry.
What's your Twitter? What's your handle? Put it out there. Yeah.
It's at Luke Y Rada. Luke Y Rada.
Yep. Now there's pressure on you, Luke. You got to tweet stuff.
I'm going to watch your follow account go up. And if anybody wants to follow me that doesn't, I am... What am I? At... Nice is such a fucking mouthful. At ATXBANTAMAFATHY. It's just a fucking mouthful. Search Skullduggery, you'll find me. Anything that Devin tweets, I'll probably be there somewhere along the line.
I'll tweet out your account.
I'm sure Devin will put it in the annotation underneath.
I'm interested, though, in how this movement of people are going to move forward. I don't know what you want to call Sargon, Dave Rubin, everybody in this room. Who are Gad Sad, myself? What are we? What is that group of people? Because
we are actual progressives.
Maybe that's what they meant from the start.
Certain names just get killed. It's like feminism these days.
Yeah.
Feminism. People will say feminism is something, and it's really noble, but it's just so toxic now. The group of people who have the loudest voices in such a large quantity that the whole movement, the whole name, just gets run through the mud. And I feel like that way with progressives and liberals. Every day, it's like I cringe at now being called a liberal or a progressive.
Yeah. But it's amazing. It's like
been hijacked.
We have to define ourselves. We have to define ourselves by going backwards in a weird way. We define ourselves by what we're not. So atheism, for example, for starters, we're not these theistic idiots. But now I am not a social justice warrior. I am also not a pussy. I'm not somebody who's afraid to talk about race or terrorism or the issue of global jihad. So I am constantly defining my position by saying I am not these people. And it's a weird way to go about it because there is no group that says, okay, here is a group of people that believe in these things and stand for these things, and I can say, okay, yeah, I'm one of those.
Anytime you assign yourself with a group, you will get people who disagree within that group. I mean, it does get complicated.
Because Atheism Plus tried to do this, and they failed miserably because nobody agreed with them.
Was more social it was again the social justice movement infiltrating another group. You know, they took over feminism. They pretty much ruined feminism, and they were trying to ruin atheism.
But they were answering.
God, didn't catch on.
Yeah, they were answering the basic question, which was what I just said, which is, look, we're not just not theists. We believe in stuff, and here's the stuff we believe in. And it turns out all that shit was ridiculous. So, like, where does that leave the rest of us? We also believe in things. You know, we also stand for things, but there's no name to it. That's the problem.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Baldies.
how did I find Devin and Tyler? And we're this really. I mean, look at Devin gets called racist on a daily basis, and who do you have talking with you? A Chilean and two black guys. You know, it's like so. Clearly, it's not racist. So clearly, there's something that we all believe in that is just like you say, we're contrary to something, but there's something that's bringing us together that we don't like, and there's no real name for it. Because I only found you because you talk about atheism, and the same, you know, with me. I'm just Chill's atheist, you know. But there's clearly a lot more to it than we just don't believe in God.
Yeah, but you were against Cenk. I'm hearing a
yeah, exactly. What do you call that?
Yeah, the anti-Cenkism. But there is something.
Actually, just call it anti-Cenkism.
Hold on, is that you? Who's giving us feedback on that volume? Okay, somebody check for that. But like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but like, I feel frustrated that most of the times when I'm making a video, I'm not telling you what I believe, just matter-of-factly. I'm telling you why somebody else is wrong. And then eventually in there, you're going to hear my thoughts. But it's only spurred on because somebody is so outrageously stupid to say something that just, it makes my skin crawl. You know, and it's quite frankly, I am almost tired, I'm sick to death about talking about atheism. Is there any stone that we have not unturned on that topic?
Well, you know what I
exactly. Yeah.
You know what I think we all have in common at the end of the day that I often think about this is that more than many other things, I consider myself an objectivist.
Yeah,
you know,
skeptical.
Objectivity is very important to me. It's not something that you just have or like, oh, I'm objective and you're not. It's something you really have to practice. You know, it's not easy to be objective.
Are you talking about like culturally in a sense? Like you're not a relativist.
Your channel is called Atheism-is-Unstoppable. My account is called also Atheist. But a lot of your videos are not exactly about just talking about atheism. When you go after Cenk, why are you going after him every time you do? You go after him because he's saying something that is not true, or many things.
Yeah, right.
And things that are objectively not true. It doesn't matter if the impression it's giving is racist. People think that, you know, what you're saying about Muslims, what you're saying about black people, it kind of feels racist to me. You know, that fact, you know, this percentage of black people do this percentage of Muslims commit terrorism, that feels racist to me. Well, it doesn't matter. We're talking about a fact. It doesn't matter how you feel. And that's being objective. You know, you put your feelings aside.
Yeah, it's
Leilo's totally on point there. Exactly. When you talk about black people, Devin, and I had a feeling of this when I was driving to Dallas today, and I was listening to one of your videos, and you're talking about black people, and every time you say the word black, that in itself sounds almost racist, and it isn't. It's fucking ridiculous.
What do you do? You say it because you know people are cringing at it, and that's horrible. Why are people cringing because a white guy is saying black? That shouldn't happen.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue. Why am I not talking about Korean Americans? On any level, I'm not talking about them. The reason is they are not a problem in any way. They do not commit an excessive amount of crimes. Why am I not talking about Hindus? Why have I made 0 videos? I have a channel about religion, 0 videos about Hindus. The reason is they are not a problem. And so I am going after the problems that are not just based on religion. I'm going after stupidity, and stupidity is a problem. So when you have regressives spitting out their propaganda and distorting facts and lying, that is an act of stupidity, and it is a problem in my estimation. So here's what it is. If you talk about race or religion, these are uncomfortable topics. What are the 3 things you're not supposed to talk about at a dinner party? Sex, religion, and politics, right? What am I talking about? I'm talking about one of the big. You could add race to that. You're definitely not going to go to a dinner party and be like, "Hey, how about those wetbacks?" You know,
yeah. When I just as like an idea of how this works is when I moved to this country, my wife told me that exactly what you just said, Devin. Don't talk about religion and don't talk about politics. Unless you want to get into some kind of embarrassing argument that my wife didn't want to partake in.
Here's the thing. You can talk about it if you're saying the right things. So if you're in Texas and you're talking about Jesus, you're going to be okay. Or if you're a white person, now this is dangerous, if you're a white person and you want to talk about race, it better be against white people. It better be some sort of anti-slavery shit. You know, it better be like, let's support the helpless black people of this world. And if you're on that tune, nobody's going to complain. In fact, even better, here's the perfect pro level. Pro level is call somebody else in your race a racist, and then you're golden. You are just going to fly high and ride, coast to the finish line. In fact, take a victory lap and pat yourself on the back, because by calling somebody else a racist, you've proven to the universe that you cannot be racist too. That's the law of non-contradiction. How could that? How can that possibly be?
One time I tweeted out that I don't love gay people, and I don't hate gay people either. I judge them based on a person-to-person judgment. And saying you love gay people is ridiculous, and that applies to everything. People who say I hate all black people are just as ridiculous as the people who say I love all black people. I don't love all black people. I actually have to meet the person, see what they say, see if they have, you know, some kind of also social, intellectual equivalence to me. See if they're not racist. See if they're not stupid. I have to see if I like them or not. I'm not going to. The point is, I don't judge them on their skin color. Then saying you love all black people is such a kind of cop out. Like, oh, I'm not racist. I love all black people. It's such a ridiculous comment, right? But this is considered a noble thing to say. People say this about everything. Gay people, Latinos. I love Latinos. What? You love all Latinos, the racist Latinos, the religious fanatical Latinos? You know, you love all black people. You love Al-Shabaab. You know, like, you know. So this sounds like very nice, right? But if when I said that on Twitter that I don't love all gay people, people are kind of like, whoa, what do you mean you don't love all gay people? You don't blanketly love all people based on their sexuality? Or if I said I don't love all black people, whoa, you don't love all people blanketly based on their skin color? But you don't? Isn't that kind of racist? What?
Yeah, that is very racist. Just to judge it on skin color.
Yeah, that's just as stupid. And that's considered PC, and that's regressive. I mean, and so this, like, the whole thing you're talking about is that people are really frightened to talk about race. When you say like Anthony was saying that when you say black on your account, already people like white people are watching that. And they're already like, oh shit, this guy's a racist.
Right. Like when I say black in my videos, I'm sorry, but like when I say black in my videos, it's like I don't have any kind of problem at all.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I mean, you've made really good videos, Devin, where you said something like it was really long speech, and anybody who would watch that, hearing that from a white guy, they're like, this motherfucker is the most racist bastard I've ever seen on YouTube. And then you show a clip that you're basically quoting Chris Rock.
Exactly.
And when Chris Rock says it, it's totally fine. But if it's true, if Chris Rock is saying is true, it's true no matter who said it.
Yeah, the whole point of that video, I didn't actually believe in what was said in that video. The whole point of that video was to show the person watching this their discomfort with knowing what race the person is that's speaking and how huge of a difference that makes. Yeah.
Yeah, he made this ridiculous video about what black people should and shouldn't do, and it was a total joke, right? And people can laugh at it. But the thing is, it shouldn't make a difference who it's coming from. If you say black, just the word black, it shouldn't make a difference if Tyler is saying it.
I know.
But you're kind of, I don't know. He just said black.
But you know what? That's why people have to travel. Like, go to Ireland. If you go to Ireland, do you know what the race problem is in Ireland? Does anybody want to venture a guess? Okay, so the race problem in Ireland is native Irish people, white people, and the Polish immigrants, who are also white. But they're a different kind of white. And there is you could call it's not a racial thing, but it's a cultural, ethnic thing and it's a huge division. There's a huge tension between these two groups of people. You go to South Africa, talk about the Zulus versus the Nigerians in South Africa. Now, who wants to talk about that? You're never going to hear a shit like this from the progressives. They're not going to. Where can I blame white people in that scenario? Nigerians and Zulus? No. They're just going to let that be. Just do not touch that with a 10-foot pole. It's just
like the slave trade and how the transatlantic slave trade is always referred to, but never the Arab slave trade.
Oh no! History starts when the Europeans reached Africa. Didn't you know? That's the beginning.
They also don't talk about the Irish slaves.
I've been really pissed about that these days when they celebrated the anniversary of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and when this comes around, it's always the same shit. It's like people start talking about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it's just people really frame it like in the World War II, the United States was the bad guys.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of my time reading about World War I and II, a lot, and by no measure can you say that Japan was the good guy or the victim in that war.
It's amazing. It's amazing to portray Japan as like the innocent victim. They were the most imperialistic, bloodthirsty, surprise attack motherfuckers of all of the people during that war. I mean, these guys were taking over the world straight up. Like, war crime after war crime out of Japan. Look, we did not come out smelling like roses either, but it's crazy.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't a good thing at all. Of course not. But to say that's like, but this is like the thing we have to talk about to death. When the United States bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they didn't do it out of like, we feel racial superiority and we want to just kill Japanese people. But what was the reason that Japan committed Nanking? I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know Nanking? Like, you probably do. It's like it's a town in China where it's called the Rape of Nanking, where they literally just went around. They didn't just kill people. They like raped women and kids. They made like Buddhists rape babies. It was just insanity. And what was the objective there? Was it to end a war? No, it was just like it was the worst war crimes you could ever imagine. And so,
Lila, can I just ask one? Lila, can I just ask one thing, buddy? Do you know any stats that are nice and fluffy?
Yeah, I mean,
it's all about death and destruction.
When like American people, even like forget the rest of the world who thinks the United States is shit. Ask it just an American how much they know about World War II, and they'll pretty much say Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they're like, oh, in World War II, yeah, we were the bad guys because Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Well, it's interesting. How many tears have been shed for the people of Dresden and the Dresden bombings? Like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to cry for civilian Germans, like people that were Nazis, even? Like,
and conversely, who are crying for the people of Coventry or Leicester or places that got bombed the shit out of in World War II? So exactly, it's just nobody gives a fuck anymore because it's in the past.
Did you open
and it goes back to the point of I'm sorry?
Did you open a window? You're in a wind tunnel all of a sudden.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Sorry. Hang on. I'm in my car. I had to go somewhere.
Close the window. Did you fart that you had to open the window?
Yeah, he's trying to.
No, I'll mute. I'm sorry.
I shamed him out of the conversation.
You social justice him out of this chat.
Get out of it. I ain't scared of no one.
He's back. Oh man, yeah, the World War II thing, it's interesting like how people interpret that situation and who they want to sort of aim their scorn at. And a lot of these regressives will say the US. We really need to be held accountable for what we did in World War II.
It's that power narrative again. It's because, the US is the big power in that war, therefore they're the bad guys and all the criticism should be leveled towards them.
Right,
and of course they're white.
Go to Asia, go to Taiwan, go to Korea, and ask how they feel about the United States in World War II.
You know what I think we need for these regressives? I think we need to physically teach them how to punch a midget. So let's get a midget. Let's hire a midget and let's have him just cuss them out and just slander them and just say, "You're a fucking cunt, bro," and just literally just punch him and just see how it feels, and just call him a midget, even though that's disrespectful. He's not a little person; he's a midget. Say it to his face and then punch him. This would better humanity.
We need to get a half black, half Eskimo midget who's gay in a wheelchair.
Oh,
and,
And
and just let out all that,
yeah.
Political correctness. Just let
criticize
it out.
him. Just criticize him. Say that you don't like the
Just say he's ugly.
Yeah.
Just say he's small. It's enough for you'll be called a racist.
God, is it so demeaning? They always say, no, it's about punching up and taking on the powerful, as if to say that these other groups cannot be powerful. Like they are just inherently, there's no way that these people could be strong. Like they need to be protected.
The first time I ever heard the phrase reverse racism, I was taking an ethnic studies class, Asian American studies class in Santa Barbara, and I was in it was the class with the TA, and he talked about reverse racism. I had to ask him, what the fuck is reverse racism? It's when the minorities are racist against the majority. It's like when blacks are racist against whites. I was like, I literally in that class I got pissed. I was really, really angry at him, and I said, I'm like, I told him, not only is that not true, I told him, you cannot teach that. And I actually talked with the teacher, and I said, you can't be teaching this.
But you know what?
Yeah.
We need to like come up with almost the same term for terrorism. Like there should be reverse terrorism, because when you hear terrorism, it's always going to be Muslim pretty much 99% of the time. Reverse terrorism will be like what we just saw with the Jewish guy stabbing, or a Christian guy blowing up one of the 8 abortion doctors. That's reverse terrorism.
Yeah. But what offended me in that case was that somebody was telling me that I couldn't be racist. That I wasn't bothered by somebody telling me something racist about my race. It was somebody telling me I couldn't be racist.
Yeah, let me ask you something.
It was disconnected. It was basically they were kind of saying, in your home country of Chile, nobody's racist.
Yeah.
Oh, you're all minorities. Racism doesn't exist.
This is a whole social sciences thing. Non-whites cannot be racist, and females cannot be sexist.
Exactly.
Because they're not the powerful, they're not the dominant.
Could I just interject real quick? Don't ask me anything for 10 minutes because I'm unavailable. Thank you.
Yeah, the thing about it is almost like they keep trying to redefine words to mean different things.
Exactly. Yeah. To me, reverse racism is an oxymoron. It's racism, and that's it.
It's racism. That's what I said. It's just reverse racism is just racism.
You know what's ironic? I love it's beautiful. Some people that use the term reverse racism, that is racist. Like they are the racists here. That's like what's so crazy to me.
I won't be told I can't be racist.
Yeah, let me ask you.
If I told Luke or Tyler they're less people because of the color of their skin, I'm being racist, and that's not belittled because I'm a minority. It's not because I'm in Chile.
Okay, so in Chile.
That would be a disgusting thing to say, and every instance matters. Because these people who claim to be progressive, and you rightly call them regressive, what they're saying is, well, we don't have to worry about all cases of racism. So we can leave a little racism around. No, I'm truly against all racism in the absolute. I don't want to see it from anybody, and these people don't say that. They say, oh no, I can tolerate the racism from Latinos and from Muslims, but we're just going to concentrate on white racism because that's sort of an occupation right now.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir here. Yeah, I agree. But like in Chile, Chile, you have immigrants. You have other people that are not Chilean. How does Chile deal with, say, the Peruvians?
Well, that's another thing that I got the impression of in the United States. When I heard people talking about the rest of the world, a lot of people were born in the United States, whether they're white or Latino or Asian. I really got the impression that some people think that outside the United States, it's some kind of wonderland of a multiculturalism or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The United States is the least racist country I've ever lived in. But I need to reinforce least. Not that there is not racism, but least racist. Like I don't think people understand in the United States or in Europe that, for example, in Chile, you're not going to see a white person in a relationship with a black person. I've never seen that. I've asked people, have you ever heard of that? Have you even talked to somebody who said they saw that? It's never happened. Interracial couples in that sense don't exist. A Chilean will date a white girl from Denmark, sure, but I've never seen a person with a black person, right? If you said that in the United States, like that just interracial couples didn't exist at all, people would think that's insane.
Yeah, I know.
But
There's
I
racism
really think-
everywhere. Like if you go to
it's much worse usually everywhere.
like when I was when I was in Argentina living there, a guy came up to me and tried to steal my camera. Now the guy was Peruvian, little guy, wonky eye, he was crazy. But when I started talking, to the Buenos Aires cops, and they were like, trust me, we get a lot of these Peruvians. They come in, they have no sort of jobs, and they basically steal, like they're committing crimes. So like I'm sure there are some liberal types in Argentina who would say there are racists. They're racist against Peruvians for whatever series of facts, whatever negative thing they said about Peruvians. So like,
well, that's another thing, that the concept of racism is barely even used.
Mhm.
You don't go on the news on Chile or Argentina, and you don't really hear people even mentioning racism. It's not something that's preoccupied. Somebody said something racist. Somebody did something racist. You don't hear this at all.
what would they say?
I don't
Like,
remember the last time I even heard somebody accused of racism in Chile, even though people are horribly out of their mind racist. You know, when I tell people, for example, in Chile that I lived in Asia, people's automatic first reaction almost always is this: I hate Asian people. That's their first reaction.
Wow.
Asian people are disgusting. They smell bad. And people just throw this out to me, you know, and I'm thrown back. But you know what? I say? I don't say much, because I know that am I going to change every Chilean person from being not racist to a multicultural liberal? I'm not going to do it, you know.
Here's the thing. Here's a litmus test. I would love to hear any of these regressives call the situation in Rwanda racist. So the Hutu and the Tutsi, or whatever they were called, did anybody call them racists? Like, I can't imagine a white person saying the Rwandan situation was racism, like, in play.
Race wasn't mentioned.
That was a foreign policy, of course, obviously.
What were we saying, Luke?
Race wasn't mentioned in the genocide in Rwanda from like liberal progressives.
Yeah, they probably call it tribalism, which is, you know, you could say that's probably racist too, you know, but it's not. It's not racist. There's different groups of people. Like, there are facts. There are things that are going on, and we can't even talk about it because people are petrified.
Well, they don't
Hello.
regard it
Sorry.
as racism.
I'm sorry, Luke. Go ahead.
White on non-white, and that's a prism through which they view racism.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. They will call Jews, if I am critical of Jews, which I'm not, but if I were, they might call that racism, even though they're white, like white Jews. They'd be like, "Oh, you're being racist."
Yeah.
Well,
Devin.
that's another question.
Anybody? Can I be heard? Hello.
What are they calling the white Jews in Israel when they're racist, when they're being racist against the Ethiopian Jews or African black? What is that racism? Is it are the European Jews, when they discriminate against the Ethiopian Jews, are they being anti-Semitic?
Can I just bring things into perspective? Can anybody hear me here?
Yes.
Okay, I am in traffic, okay, and I'm behind a Mercedes SL400 that has a vanity plate with the "Don't Tread on Me" snake flag on it. If anybody doesn't know what that is, look it up.
Okay.
So yeah, and I went to a convenience store, and the woman in front of me was German,
Nice.
and the person behind the counter was from Nepal. So there we go. Talk about multiculturalism.
Was the German attractive?
She was an old lady, Devin. So I'm sure she was in her prime.
That counts. Yeah. God damn. I don't know. Like, for example, maybe as a little test, if I were to criticize Dave Rubin and Gad Saad, and had the exact same criticism, the chances of getting called a racist would go up like exponentially when I was talking to Gad Saad. Even though they're both Jewish and they're both atheists, they're both basically saying the same shit. Like, it's just, people are so hypersensitive. You can't get over that. You cannot get to the conversation because it gets derailed. It gets thwarted.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I feel like I've had a lot of success on my Twitter, is that I don't feel really bound by the social rules of the United States. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not bound to. I don't live in a society where people are constantly telling me that I can't make this comment because I'm racist.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should. What were the Indian tribes in Chile? Were the Incans down there? Or who was down
The
there?
Mapuche. Mapuche.
Okay, exactly. Just say you're one of those, and you could just say fucking anything.
I can see, yeah. I don't know if this was a kind thing I did sometimes in the United States, but for a few times, basically any person I was talking to, I would say I'm half. If I was talking to Jews, oh, I'm half Jewish. I could say anything I wanted. When I was with a few black people, I would say, oh, I'm actually half black.
There you go.
And that actually goes back to a point that
nobody quite.
This goes back to a point that me and Luke were talking about being half caste.
What?
Did you hear that, Luke? It was a comment towards Luke about being half caste. And not many people really know what that's all about. It's being called half caste or half chat is another one I heard back in England.
Shall I go into it a bit?
Yeah, here's what you don't want to do. Here's what you don't want to do. Enter a conversation and say, I am a college-educated, upper-middle-class, white guy, heterosexual with a shaved head. Like, that's the worst thing. Do never say that.
Fuck that shit.
Fuck it. I'm 3/4 Cherokee from now on, just so all you know.
And you could say you're bisexual.
Yeah.
Then you'll be okay.
Does anybody have?
You can't be racist now.
I don't think like anybody likes bisexuals.
No, you're
like,
you cannot be.
Oh yeah, even the gays don't like bisexuals because they think they're a cop out or something, right?
Nobody likes bisexuals, unless it's like Scarlett Johansson and Natalie Portman. But I have a theory. You guys want to hear my theory on gay people?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we at the point? Because I heard this Arizona pastor. He was bitching about sodomites and shit like that. But can I safely say that when it comes to anal sex, there are more straight people having anal sex than gay people?
Well,
is that legit? Because we have 90-something% of the world is hetero. There's a lot of ass sex going on. I don't know if you've Googled it.
A man and a woman?
No, I'm talking about, man and a woman. So men fucking women in the ass. That has got to be occurring more often than man-on-man anal sex.
I would
I don't
concur.
know percentage-wise, but it definitely, like, raw number, it happens more.
Yeah, not per capita, but I'm saying overall.
Not per capita, but definitely, like, the raw number, yeah, it's definitely higher.
Because you notice that they instantly will go to sodomy. They're not talking about guys blowing guys. Because guess what? When it comes to oral sex, we know that the heteros are doing that way more. When a dick goes into somebody's mouth, it's going into a woman's mouth more often than not. But when it comes to sodomy, my point is that it's still more hetero now. It's a hetero phenomenon, sodomy. Is this true? Am I off base here?
I would say that's obvious.
You're not off base whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious because there's more straights in the world than gays.
So I am owning sodomy. And speaking of uncomfortable,
Kevin just owned the sodomy.
So yeah, quote me on that. And now speaking of uncomfortable situations, I will put that question to the room. I am willing to admit in public that I have had anal sex. Is anybody else in this room willing to man up and say yes or no on that question?
I have.
Okay.
Say what?
Can you see my hand up?
I have.
So Chilean is agreeing.
I am.
Okay.
English bald guy is.
Tyler is pulling on the show. He is, yeah, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count because Tyler's pitching a shutout with every orifice. So
I have skullduggery. It's an experience.
so this is
You
exactly
need the right woman to do it with.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, it's enjoyable.
It's not like you do it every day.
So we got
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 out of 4 people in this room, or 4 out of 5.
Me as well.
No? Oh no.
Me as well. Yes.
Him as well. Luke had it too.
Luke
Yes.
has had it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he actually took it.
Exactly. This is my point. So when they're criticizing these sodomites for going to hell, they're talking to us. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, I actually asked. I met somebody once. I asked somebody once, like, they were saying that they wanted to make homosexuality illegal, and I asked them, like, what would you make it illegal exactly? And they said sodomy, and I asked them, would you also make anal sex between heterosexual couples illegal? And they actually told me yes.
Yeah, that's
I was
amazing.
thrown back by that. I'm like, you want to send like, married straight?
But wait a minute.
couples
Let me ask you
doing
a question.
What?
What if you're trying to have sex with a girl, but you sort of slip and go in the wrong hole? Is that like not as egregious? That's like the equivalent of manslaughter. It's like you didn't mean to do it, but you still did it.
That might be rape.
That's anal manslaughter. But see, for me, ass sex is not some regular thing. It's not like it's a good place to visit but not live. You know, I'm not.
What your girlfriend was German?
Oh god. Oh.
It's not like
The
it is in the
Germans love
movies.
that.
The Germans are all about every sort of
Yeah.
freakery. Dude, the Germans. Have you ever seen the game? It's called like Germany or Florida, and the whole game is just guess where this fucked up shit happened. Was it Germany or Florida? Because it's one of the two for sure. Somebody should Google that. Google that and link it to me because I know that's a game. Yeah, but I mean, you know, when you see anal sex in the videos, God, how deviated are we from race and religion? But it's just.
But look at any porno film these days. It's all anal. It's straight anal.
Yeah, but here's the thing: in those movies, and I have a little experience in the porn world, having made the website for Sasha Grey. They do enemas. Okay, so here's the thing: enemas are a daily part of a porn star's life, and
Right.
it's not a daily part of your girlfriend's life. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, that's so true.
Devin, is your point that anal sex, if you're having anal sex with a woman,
Yeah.
then the butthole could be a man? Is that your point?
See, that's a very controversial and interesting topic because
But that counts for the mouth as well.
see, this is
Everybody's got a butthole, right?
Right,
Everybody's
right.
got one.
No, the point. The
Everyone has a mouth,
classification.
So here's
Everyone has
this. This is a great point. This is why this topic is super uncomfortable. Even more than just talking about anal sex, it's recognizing that men have buttholes, and if you're going to tell me that you enjoy anal sex, then why would you not enjoy it with a man? And the answer to that question, there are good answers to that question, but they're not that obvious. Like, it's not that obvious.
Well, isn't it also that sex is also a very visual thing? Like, it's not just the feeling; it's also what you're looking at.
Oh, the whole thing is psychology.
Because that would also apply. Like, if you just care about the sensation, why does a woman's looks matter? You know?
Look at kissing. Look at kissing.
About
Men-
arousal and the
Yeah,
stimulation.
it's about the arousal as well. Because if it was just about the feeling of being inside a vagina, then people wouldn't care about looks. As long as they have a vagina, we're good to go.
Okay, let's take this conversation to the next step. Have you ever kissed a man?
With open mouth, closed mouth.
Tyler, you're saying no.
Hell no. Fuck no.
I've kissed men on the mouth, but like no French kissing.
Dude,
No French kiss, no.
in Argentina, they all kiss each other. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, in Latin America, we kiss a lot.
Okay, I'll give you my story about male kissing.
It's not making out. It's just like a kitten peck on the mouth.
Okay, so I was in New Orleans at Mardi Gras. Okay, drunk as a skunk, right? I'm walking down. Now, if anybody knows the French Quarter of Mardi Gras, if you keep walking, you're gonna end up in the gay district. Okay, they don't tell you that. You don't walk through a rainbow and then like, oh, okay, I'm in the gay district. But so basically, I'm kissing everybody. I'm exchanging beads, and I'm saying, here's some beads, and I'm making out just like a madman. I'm doing like triple kisses, like two girls, like a triangle of kissing. So anyway, not quite. The cup was left out of that scenario, but so I see this one girl, and she's relatively attractive, and I'm good to go. So I'm like, I give her some beads, and I kiss her. I walk about 10 paces forward, and then I have the realization that was a man. Like, for sure that was a man. And I look back, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
No.
I look back.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, you know what? Like, physically, it's probably very little difference. I might have felt a little stubble, and I look back, and I look back, and I saw her profile.
You thought it was a woman when you did it.
Yeah.
Right. So
that mattered, right?
That mattered, right?
Yeah.
But I looked back, and she was in profile, and I saw the largest Adam's apple I think I've ever seen in my life. That thing was jetting out of her neck like a Frankenstein's bolt. It was crazy.
Right.
Anyway, I'm going on record with my male kissing story.
But wait, I have a question. was that just lips to lips, or was there tongue?
Oh no, it
That's
was tonsil action. I was
Oh
in
man.
there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a.
No. You cannot go. You cannot go to Mardi Gras and give pecks on the lips to women. I mean.
Oh, I've never gone open mouth.
To a stranger? And.
No.
To a man.
To a man, I give pecks on the mouth, but no, never gone open mouth.
Yeah, I feel it. No, so now let's bring it back to Tyler. Tyler, how close are we to breaking this streak you're on?
I mean, right now I'm not really interested in getting into relationships, so.
Well, who said anything? Wait a minute. Who said anything about a relationship?
Just having sex?
Yeah. Do we have any irons in the fire? Like, where are we at here?
I'm not interested in that right now either.
Is this a
22 years
sexual advice?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Dr. Ruth segment. But really, there's no interest whatsoever.
At least not right now.
Huh. Interesting. Maybe I should take you to Rio and take you a walk on the beach and eat the and let's see if you change your mind on that. Are you up for a trip? We'll do it. We'll make it into like a segment.
If you guys, I'll meet you there.
22-year-old virgin goes to Ipanema will be the name of the video series.
Oh man. Well, I can't refuse that.
Well, I mean, it's fine if it's not an issue for you and you're not actively seeking it, then it's really not as big of a problem. But I can't imagine that being the case.
Somebody just asked in the chat, Tyler a virgin. Someone just asked.
Ask what?
Someone asked if Tyler's a virgin.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody also just said that I have AIDS.
And if nobody's talking about me, I've not done something right. So fuck everybody.
Yeah, this chat. Now I'm looking at the chat.
You like the sound of your own voice?
The sound of your what?
Texas likes the sound of his own voice. Wasn't that an earlier
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah, the guy from Texas.
Yeah.
The guy from Texas.
I
sound not?
I doubt you're from Texas.
Say again, Layla.
I seriously doubt you're from Texas.
I'm not, but my accent has changed over this last 5 years. I was very, very broad Yorkshire, which I'm sure Luke will
Yes,
get
you're
that.
a Yorkshireman.
Yeah, I'm a Yorkshire lad.
Let me test another one out. Luke, say Fox News.
Fox News.
Oh, I love that. It's dangerously close to Fox News.
That's because he's from Birmingham.
Birmingham, Fox
Not
News.
Birmingham. Oh, what the fuck?
Somebody just
As you
tweeted
as
a quote.
everyone, baby.
I made a porn site with Sasha Grey, Devin Tracy, 2015.
There you go.
Yeah, quote me. She's a nice
She's
girl.
retired,
Yeah.
hasn't she?
She's a great girl, man. I met her a few times. She actually had a black boyfriend at the time, who was sort of okay with the whole situation, but I don't know. I'm not sure I could handle that setup, having a girlfriend in porn.
That would be difficult. I personally couldn't do that at all.
Yeah, like I can't imagine having a girlfriend that's porn.
No.
Just no.
Yeah,
It's like, like if you get together with your girlfriend, let's watch a video. Oh, well, I just made this one. It's like, I've got to watch you fucking another guy now. No, it's not going to go down well, you know what I mean?
Hey, Tyler, where's your accent from?
I'm actually from Maryland.
Okay.
It's like when I was younger, like I had some kind of speech problems, and so later on in life, I had to take speech therapy classes.
Mm-hmm. My girlfriend's mom is a speech therapist. She deals with kids all the time.
I used to stutter like a hell of a bitch when I was younger.
Really?
I couldn't get the sound out, like there or the. I'd be like the. So it happens. I mean, fuck it. Who gives a shit?
You know what's a tough thing to say, actually, I've found, is atheism is unstoppable.
Yeah.
I say, honest to God, 70% of the time people say it, they cannot get through it.
Atheism is unstoppable.
All right, try it. Let me hear
Atheism
it.
is unstoppable.
Atheism is unstoppable.
Luke?
Atheism is unstoppable.
Well,
Atheism is unstoppable, okay?
Lads.
I love you, dude.
and there's a bunch of people that call me. They try to abbreviate it. They try to call me AIU, but other people will call me AIS, like, and totally missing the point. And they're atheists, and they're like,
Atheism is stoppable.
yeah. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? And then I would say 90-something% of people don't realize that the reason I called the channel that was in direct response to Kirk Cameron's movie. Like, it had nothing to do with anything.
And that you can't be bothered to change the name again.
Yeah, I can't be bothered at all.
Yeah.
But
Which I fucking love. I love that. Me and Devin were talking about... me and you were talking about this before the stream opened, how much you don't give a fuck about subscribers, view accounts. Well, you might give a shit about view. I don't know. You just don't really give a fuck about anything. I said to Devin that if I was to tell him that he just lost 400 YouTube subscribers, or if I told him that he just gained 400 YouTube subscribers, his reaction would be the same.
Well, I wonder if Devin...
Indifference. Complete indifference.
Well, like, I like that I get more subscribers, and I mean, it's nice to get them, but I will still tweet out what I'm thinking no matter what, and if I lose, 100 subscribers for writing it, I don't care.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Like, I lost a lot of subscribers when I started going after Jank, like dozens of people who are, like, because a lot of atheists like him. And a lot of atheists start saying, like, oh, fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about, you're getting taken out of context. I just kept going, I don't care. Block me, go away, I don't care.
You know what it is? It's all about human vanity, and I went through this, and I would venture to say that anybody who gets popular online in any way will go through a sense of sort of, I don't know, a big head, a huge ego, and I went through this with my mashup channel. So I made a video that was a mashup between Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga, and I put it up, and like within 3 days it got like 300,000 views, and I was walking around like, I am the fucking shit. Like, I am a goddamn genius, right? And I was so into myself, I was just like, oh my god, I'm going to become a professional video person, I'm going to, like, my life is going to take off. And then it sort of didn't, and it didn't really matter. And you could type in dog taking shit, and that will have millions of views on YouTube, So, like, and I sort of went through this process of, oh my god, it doesn't matter that people viewed this video. And yes, it was a good video, yes, I'm proud of it, but like, I'm really not all that. And so I went through that whole thing way before my atheism channel. So I have a very good perspective on, I know I'm not some big deal.
And we have people in the chat right now, I'm not going to name them, but they have the time to waste posting things on a YouTube live chat hangout.
Right.
That nobody's ever going to listen. Nobody's going to watch them. No, it doesn't mean anything. And these are people that you've interacted with yourself, Devin.
Yeah, they're desperate.
They are entirely meaningless. They're so desperate for fucking attention, dude. It is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
Pathetic, pointless, fucking shit.
They're looking for validation. They don't get it from their non-existent boyfriend, girlfriend, or spouse. They don't get it from their job, so they're looking for it with a little number ticker at a bottom of a subscriber. Like, that's how they're going to get their self-esteem. It's fucking humiliating. And by the way, I love the way British people say pathetic, because they take 10 seconds to say the word pathetic. They say
pathetic.
Exactly.
It's the
dude, you hear every syllable when a British person says pathetic.
I mean, like, in general, like, the British are like the kings of making these assaults that are just so bad but just so hilarious.
The thing with me, Tyler, I'm sorry. Tyler, sorry. No, whatever. I've totally lost my point on that one, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Getting your name wrong just threw me off. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Man. That was like an Allahu Akbar of a thought. That was just like,
boom.
It's over.
Gone.
All right,
sorry.
well, if you guys, we can wrap this up at any point, but if there's any other topic you guys want to bring up, let me know. And that goes for the chat room, for people in this room, all of us anal sex advocates in here.
I want it to be the last thing, so let everybody wrap up. I'm going to give some shout-outs to people.
Okay.
So if anybody else has anything else, then cool.
Yeah, hit me up. I mean, I think we covered some good stuff. I think, I don't know, I'd be interested to see what the comments are on this video, but I think there's a lot to be said for this new group that we are sort of seeing form. And
Yes.
there are certain things that are very important that we are not a part of. You know, we are not modern-day first world feminists. We are not social justice freaks. We are not regressives. You know, we're not theists. But there is no name for us, but I think there should be at some point. Or not. I don't know. I'm open to it, but I think
We'll
that's
think
a good
on
thing.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
Attempt to give a name, that's the problem. It always fails.
Yeah,
because the thing is we're not. The thing is that the thing that brings us together is the very reason we don't have a name. Is that when you give a name to a group, it always comes with a bunch of bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It has to come with some ideas, and those ideas can't be broken. And
But
the thing
we
that
can
brings us
invent that,
together
though.
is that we can break any idea. That's what between us we like. There's no fixed thing. Or you must believe this. If not, you're out of the group.
Well, then we make it.
Yeah. Like the thing is,
Best to be nameless.
We like Fawaz, even though he's a Muslim. It doesn't have to even be an atheism. You know, it's the objective.
here's the thing: the words do matter a tremendous amount. Like I did this whole video thing about agnostics versus atheists, and just my disdain for every agnostic on the planet.
I fucking hate it. I can't stand an agnostic.
I cannot stand them. But here's another difference: atheists and anti-theists. Like I am under the impression that if you're an atheist, I assume you're an anti-theist. I cannot understand an atheist who is not an anti-theist. Like, I would love to have a debate with some guy who's like, oh, I'm an atheist, but I have no negative feelings towards theists. Like, who are you?
It's a weird thing because basically some people say that in the sense that they don't feel that they don't believe in religion, but they feel like it's a good thing for some people. But the conflict also I have with that is that you're basically saying is that a certain level of lying to yourself and to others and to your children can be a positive thing in their lives. You know, making your child believe his whole life that Santa Claus is real, well, he's being a better person as long as he believes it, so it's fine. No, that's not a positive thing at all.
And
I agree with that, Lilo, but I would have classed myself as an agnostic atheist when I was in England because I didn't give a fuck. Religion was no part of my life. Hang on. So I was an agnostic atheist in England because religion in England as a white man plays no part in your life whatsoever. Okay. Right. Once I got to this country, I realized, and I've never had this thought before, that I was an atheist. Until that time, I didn't give it any thought. Right?
Myself an agnostic before.
Yeah, but Anthony, saying that you're a member of the Church of England in the modern time, you're basically saying you're saying I'm an anti-theist atheist. Is what I'm saying.
My point is that once I got to this country, I realized where my stance was.
Right, but
because up until that time, I had no stance.
And
I didn't care. It had no part to play in my life.
But why were you calling yourself an agnostic? Like, you called yourself an agnostic, I imagine, because the circle around you said, it gave you the impression you must call yourself agnostic. And the reason that word exists is just because it's a soft atheist.
No, it's a knowledge claim. I understand.
In Chile, it's very common. Atheists call themselves agnostic, and all it is like a soft. It's like, I don't want to be rude to religious people.
It's a cop out.
So
I get that.
Well, like, if you were to ask me, like, for me, like, in my opinion, like, to me, when I hear the word agnostic, it just refers to knowledge or the lack of knowledge. Correct. So in that kind of sense, I would call myself an agnostic atheist, but. Yeah. But at the same time, I can understand why people don't want to have the connotation of the word atheist.
Yeah, but the
sorry.
Well, fuck those people who can't stand the connotation of atheism. First of all, but the beautiful thing, I hate Neil for that reason. For every other reason, I love him. But the beautiful thing about agnostics is, yes, it's a lack of knowledge, but they lack the knowledge to understand why that is not an answer to the question. Like that's the knowledge they lack. That it's ridiculous for them to self-label like that. And
exactly. So within the last year or so, I am an anti-theist. I mean, religion does no good as far as I'm concerned, and I'll stand up to anybody. And this is the really funny thing that I wanted to mention. If you live in Texas and you go up against somebody in real life, not on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, if you talk to them in real life, these people do not have a leg to stand on. If you ask, if they find out you're an atheist, they'll go, really? Why? Why don't you believe? And that is their first question. They have that incredulity of, you don't believe in God?
Yeah, it's a burden of proof.
What?
They don't understand it. But
exactly. They don't understand anything.
Yeah, but
when I first came out as an atheist to my mother, she thought I worshipped the devil.
Yes, you get that as well.
Yes.
I have had that. So.
You know, it's an interesting thing to consider. Like, we talk about these words, and on some level, it seems trivial, but it actually is really important. Imagine the 4 horsemen of the non-apocalypse. So the 4 leaders of the New Atheist movement, and think of how they self-identify. You got Christopher Hitchens, who is proudly saying he's anti-theist. You got Sam Harris, who doesn't even refer to himself as an atheist, doesn't even want the term to be needed. You got Richard Dawkins, who's got his weird 6-point scale, and he's sort of an agnostic atheist and goes out of his way to explain that to people. I don't know what Daniel Dennett calls himself, but I wouldn't be surprised if he calls himself like a skeptic or some shit. Like, they can't even agree. The 4 people who are, have been pegged as the leaders of the movement, they are completely in opposition to each other. So that's what we're dealing with.
You made I think the video you made of Neil deGrasse Tyson in a radio interview justifying why he's an agnostic and not an atheist perfectly describes why it's such a bullshit term. That every category that you can put out there as to why you're agnostic and not an atheist, basically just an atheist.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Neil, if he was honest about it, like if he just said, look, I am not calling myself an atheist because I do not want to alienate myself from hundreds of millions of people and shoot myself in the foot at any chance to raise money for science or get my message across. If he just said that, that would be one thing. But he doesn't say that. He says, I am against labels. Oh, I'm a scientist. I'm an astrophysicist. I'm a black man. I'm an American. But I'm against labels. It's such fucking horseshit. So what he's saying is wrong. It's laughable. It's cowardly. And I've made the point to that. And it's not popular. If you make videos, Neil.
The thing is he's what the worst part of that is that there's a lot of people out there. I think a lot worse off than you or me or a lot of the atheists on this panel who are suffering very harshly because they're atheists, especially the ex-Muslims, and a lot of ex-Christians too. And when they hear Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a person a lot of people admire, and if he said he was an atheist, he would show sympathy with that group of people. And when he cops out of saying, oh, I'm not, you know what, I'm not really an atheist, those people feel like kind of abandoned.
Yeah, put it this way.
You just feel it's illogical. But a lot of people, I can feel like they're feeling abandoned from that.
It's like Ricky Martin 10 years ago. And I'm a gay guy, and I'm pissed at Ricky Martin. Everybody in the friggin' universe knows this guy's gay. And he's not going to come out as gay? Fuck Ricky Martin. And fuck him for he finally creeps out of the closet like 1,000 years later when he has $100 million? No, not impressive.
That's amazing. I've said the exact same thing since he come out. I said the exact same thing that I think that he basically made millions of dollars making girls' panties wet, selling himself as a straight guy, and then after decades and decades, after he's totally irrelevant, he's like, oh, by the way, I'm gay, and everybody, she's so brave. For what? He made millions of dollars selling a fake facade to the world.
Right, and he's a guy.
So sympathy with the gay community, and he decided not to. He decided to make money. And when he became irrelevant, he's like, oh, now that I'm too old for the girls to like me, oh, by the way, now I'm gay. Oh, he's so brave. He's so brave. No, he's not. He's not. He's not brave.
I agree with that. And same with Anderson Cooper. Like, he was in the same boat. And all I'm asking for is them to be honest. Just be honest with why you're not correctly labeling yourself. That's all. And they don't do that, and they need to be called out for it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, guys, you've been very entertaining for me, and I hope that people have enjoyed this.
It's very, very late for Devon.
It's 1:20 out here.
So I'm just going to give some shout-outs real quick. These are guys and girls. You do have girl followers, Devon, as you know.
I have 4 of them.
You've got Christiana.
Oh,
also known as A Young Christ. You know that one.
Is she the 21-year-old or?
Yes, she's married, Devon. She's married and she's pregnant, so stop.
Oh, come on.
I know she's pretty, but we've got Liz Twittetta. If you want to follow her on Twitter, Twittetta.
I want to do an all-girl hangout.
You should. Can I be involved?
If you wear a wig.
I can do that. We've got Canuckle. These people know who they are. Fucking Canadians, dude. He's the atheist Aladdin. Aladdin.
Oh, that's a girl?
He knows who he is. No, he's a guy, dude. I've already done the women. There's only two.
Oh, okay.
There's two women.
Right. We got them out of the way.
Godless. Wasky 1.
Yeah, he's a
guy.
big fan. Wasky 1 is.
Yes.
I don't know where he's from,
He's
but
awesome.
he's been on my channel forever. Love that
guy. Warlock, of course. Warlock's a good guy.
Up in Washington.
And I wrote Mini Bari. I mean, we've already talked about him. Meh.
Oh, Goebbels.
Lalo. I've put Lalo, Chili Atheist. We know who he is. Crush Endo. Crush Endo is a big fan.
Yeah, he is. Where's he from?
I have no idea. I'm sure he'll tell you. Stephen Butler from England. He's a good guy. On the first hangout that you ever did. Floyd G-Spot. Good guy. Edgework, a.k.a. Josh. Flo. I wrote fucking Tyler and Drew.
Yeah.
Fucking Tyler and Drew.
They're around?
Yep. Mr. Wolfric and Mr. Joshua. They're two like YouTube commentators. So
Mr. Wolf
YouTube commentators.
Is that the 18-year-old from Germany?
He could be. Yes, I think. I follow him on Twitter. Or he follows me. One or the other.
Okay.
And if I've missed anybody, I mean, fuck, you're all good guys.
Yeah,
everybody's good guys.
Some of these guys got to step up, man. Come into a hangout because I like to put a face to the name. I like to find out if you've had anal sex. I like to get to know you.
I think I would say, Devin, some of the reasons why they don't want to engage is, I guess, it's like a fear of being public, or being in a hangout and not being able to say anything, or just sitting back and listening. But there's nothing wrong with that either. So
just come and stare at us creepily.
Yeah. I would say though, don't have another public hangout, because that was just a little bit crazy. Do it for your patrons or something.
Some people are dead set against it. Maybe we should do like first come, first serve, or some sort of criteria to get on. I don't know.
Well, maybe ask on Twitter who wants to participate and choose like 5 people or something.
I remember Isaac. Sorry, I've just forgotten Isaac. Isaac's a good guy. I was on a hangout with him a couple of days ago, and he's a very intelligent young man.
Oh, yeah, Isaac, of course. He's always on the show.
Yeah,
on
I
the
forgot
show.
that. I'm sorry.
The show, look, it's a show.
But, the show, yeah. It's like the Young Turks.
Yeah, right.
Just with more intelligence. And that is one thing I would like to point out before I'll shut up. But it's quite clear that the subscribers that do follow you, Devin, and have something to say, obviously have brains, and they're not kids, and I think we can do some good. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. I think you have a good point. I think this hangout went great, and
yes.
Maybe if you want to be in the next hangout, give me a tweet. Tweet me at the Atheist Roo, and give me a reason, like a haiku, like give me a poem about why you should be on. And we'll see how that goes.
Badly, but amusingly. We're all invited anyway, so I don't give a fuck. So, Devin, I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Have a good night. And, let's do it again.
Okay.
See you, Tyler.
Bye, guys.
See you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.